And welcome back. As you can see, we had a bit of another technical issue, and that's kind of what happens when you're testing out the studio and all the equipment. So we appreciate the patience with us there. And again, we're here at the Guardtower Studios. We hopefully we'll have all the bugs worked out. And of course, we're adding new capabilities, so we get to encounter a bunch of new fun bugs as well. And there's no better way to test it than an episode, I believe, of the Guardtower presents the doomed city of Granitegard. But before we jump into tonight's episode, let's talk about a little bit of business here. As always, we certainly invite you to go check out our Linktree, and that has links to all of the social media platforms that we utilize. You can also find links to the Guardtower's Twitch and their YouTube channel, which is really, really beneficial if you want to go back and watch any of the prior episodes of the show. And of course, all new episodes are posted Fridays by 4 p.m. You can check out Linktree, and that is linktr.ee/capital DCOG. That is Linktree/DCOG. And we, again, post them on Fridays at 4 o'clock. If I could stick to my script, it would probably be a little bit easier to get through this part and get to the fun stuff. So tonight, again, we got minis by Chris Wolfgang over at the Glittering Cave Studios. Tony Thefson is also providing minis for us, and we have lots of little intricate details that are provided by Chris Fields. So thank you very much for those contributions there. We are also featuring maps by Warlock Tiles that the Guardtower has been very kind to donate to our studio here. And the Warlock Tiles are really, really nice for bringing any of the maps that you're creating to life, and it'll add a lot of wow to your own tables. So again, when you see those tonight, if there's anything that you're interested in, you can stop by either the East or West store, or go online to www.theguardtower.com and pick some up for yourself on that. And as a really fun note, something I'm actually pretty excited about, we have a new app that we're going to be utilizing for our sound and music tonight, and it is Pocket Bard. You can go on to the Google Play Store, or you can go to the Apple App Store and download it for yourself. It has quite a wide variety of different music for various occasions, lots of little sound effects, and it is just getting itself off the ground. So they are certainly looking to get your input on that to help improve that product. So again, we're very excited to add that to the show and help make it a much more atmospheric event for you all. We're also super duper happy to welcome back the individual that people say is known as the Reverend Goodberries. And he has had a whirlwind tour, but we're glad to have him back.
I made it.
We do have a bit of something we need to talk to you all about. Amanda, one of our players, has had to step out, and we do wish her very, very well. And we hope to see her again here in the future. But fortunately, Audrey Lowe has joined in, and she will be assuming the role of Mary. So thank you very, very much for that. And that way, play can continue on seamlessly. We had thought about changing the name to Carrie and kind of go along with that. But rather than confuse things, we'll just go ahead and keep that as the Mary there. And I do believe at this point that kind of handles all the business I'm aware of. Roger, is there anything else?
Business concluded.
All right. Well, with that being said, who's interested in throwing some dice tonight?
Yeah.
All right. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and roll our intro, and we'll start the adventure after that.
Once the seat of economic and political power in the Northern Territories, the city of Granitegard fell in one catastrophic moment of terror and bloodshed. In the quiet hours of the night, once the seat of economic and political power in the Northern Territories, the city of Granitegard fell in one catastrophic moment of terror and bloodshed. In the quiet hours of the night, the massive granite mesa that served as the city's namesake exploded violently, the debris reducing entire swaths of the city to ruin. Before the inhabitants could even comprehend what had happened, they were blindsided by an army of monstrosities surging from the sewers and into the city streets. The militia valiantly attempted to protect the fleeing citizens, but their efforts were futile against the overwhelming tide of bloodthirsty creatures. And in the midst of the chaos, the city gates slammed shut, turning Granitegard into a death trap for anyone that remained behind the high, fortified walls that had been meant to protect them. For over a decade, it has stood as silent as a tomb, and shrouded in a perpetual mist. No one has entered, and nothing human has ever come out. That is, until now. 12 years to the day since the fall of Granitegard, the Trader's Gate has opened. The news has spread like wildfire across the human crescent, and like a siren's call, Fortune hunters from far and wide have been drawn by the possibility of untold riches lying just inside the city walls, daring the foolish and the brave to risk it all at a chance of wealth beyond their wildest dreams. It has also stirred the interest of old rivals, with no one from the original bloodline to claim the mantle of leadership of Granitegard. Plans are forming in the dark. Powerful forces seek to play their games of state, as the lives of everyone in the north hangs in the balance. And in the midst of this all, 6 strangers have been drawn to Granitegard by something other than riches or power. Their destiny is tied to the events surrounding the fall of the city. Each of them must confront the past in order to find a way forward. Each of them must search for answers in the doomed city of Granitegard.
All right, welcome back. We're going to do a quick recap. We're going to start with a quick recap, and then we're going to jump into our episode here. So the gates of Granitegard have opened for the first time in 12 years, bringing the foolish and the brave from across the lands to seek their fortune. It's also brought 6 strangers, each with their own goals, to Newtown, the small burg that's sprung up on the Traders Road just above the ridgeline of the cursed city. With funding from the enigmatic Versailles Rex, our heroes have formed a very unlikely partnership with the intent of uncovering the mysteries behind the calamity that has befallen the city. Looking to set out to Granitegard, our party instead took up the cause of rescuing the missing family members from a small commune. After tracking the raiders to the Two Flagons Tavern, the party defeated the goblin leader, Rourg the Bloody, and found that only the children had been left alive. They also discovered Skeech the Goblin Delver, who was standing outside a very mysteriously magically warded door buried deep beneath the tavern. The children had been used to mine it out. At the same time, Mary had suffered a blow during the combat and had succumbed to a poison. And so the party headed back to town, and this time they did take Skeech with them, which, much to his surprise, and he took him under his wing. The next morning, as the players had returned victoriously with the children, they learned that most of the children had been placed with family members inside of Newtown itself, but the remainder had been taken in by Lord Arundel to see for their care. Mary, who had been poisoned, as I had said before, stayed in the Red Valerian to recover from her wounds, as our party members decided to go out into the city and prep themselves for an adventure. Doing so, they followed Vaughn over to the Wild Rose Bakery, where Vaughn was secretly reunited with a childhood acquaintance. Though he did not pass this information on to the rest of the party, it was a very unique event for him on that. And unfortunately, at the same time, the Reverend Goodberries announced that he was going to attend to some business on his own and left the party. His new friends were very confused, but they did wish him very well. As they had left the bakery, Aster from the Red Valerian Inn had run up to them and let them know that Mary had recovered, and so they decided to return to see how their party member was doing. But along the way, Harold Driscoll, who was the caravan driver that had brought the Reverend, Damon, and Echo to the city, flagged down his friends to let them know he was, number 1, very proud of them. Number 2, the caravan would be heading out to continue their journey north and finish their business and hopefully get out of the north before the winter set in. Again, picking Mary back up, the party members headed out to check out what was going on beneath the Two Flagons Tavern. But in doing so, as they had proceeded up the Traders Road, they noticed smoke in the distance. Going to investigate it, they had found that a party of gnolls had waylaid the caravan that Driscoll had been operating. Unfortunately, when the gnolls saw the party, they fled, which started a high-speed chase through the woods. Our party was victorious in stopping the gnolls, and that is where we left off last week. But before we continue, there are a couple things I want to take care of real quick. There was some outstanding role-playing that was done last week, so I want to hand out a little bit of inspiration here. Echo and Skeech both get a golden inspiration tab, and Damon, for his amazingly successful leap onto the wagon, receives a silver inspiration. Those can be cashed in at important points when you're playing. So if you ever have one of those moments where it's life or death, that's certainly something to hang on to there. And Skeech please don't eat that. So,
I see you eyeing those coins, Reverend.
now, speaking of the Reverend, let's go ahead and talk about the Reverend. So,
Yes, let's.
this is going to...
Reverend's favorite topic.
His favorite topic, yes. So, we're going to focus on you here for a little bit. So, Reverend, as you had stepped out of the bakery into the early morning chill of the day, you couldn't help but feel a twinge of remorse at the potential loss of comrades that you had begun making there. You've been on your own for such a long time. You'd forgotten what it was like to really have people that you could depend on, and it's a little bit of guilt as you're relieving them. But you knew that you had some business that you needed to resolve. So, chin up. You begin to step out and walk down the lane. And you hear this, sir, are you the Reverend man? Yes, the healer, the miracle worker, sir.
Oh, miracle worker. Yes. I've been called many names. That is one of them. I am the Reverend Goodberry. What can I help you with?
As you turn around, you see this middle-aged, kind of balding, portly fellow. I mean, he's burly, but definitely a little bit out of shape. And he's about a head shorter than what you are. Looks like he's a farmer or maybe some sort of laborer, given the fact that he has a lot of dirt underneath his nails, even some creases in his neck have some dirt in them, commoner's clothes, looking very, very desperate. And he runs up and he seizes your hand. He's like, please. He's like, I need a holy man. And the word is that, again, you work these miracles. It's my boy. One of the carriages from those new rich folks that have been moving here into town, they hit him, the horse, they hit him, and nobody in town seems to be able to heal him. And I need, they say that the one God speaks through you. And could you do something for him, please?
It is true. This has been said about me because it is true. Yes, please take me to your boy, and I'll see what I can do.
He is just, you can see his face just light up, and he kind of sprints ahead, like, come. Leads you maybe about 50 feet up the road and takes a turn into one of the estates, not estates, but one of the homes. There is a tall hedgerow and a short little gate, and as you see him kind of go around the corner, he disappears from view. And you get up and you look through, and you can see him just coming into the house. He turns around, he's like, come on. And when the front door is wide open, he's quite funny, he's yelling at the house. He's like, I got the Reverend! And he kind of disappears into the house.
How large of a house is this?
It is a very small house.
All right.
To be honest with you, the bulk of the piece of property here is taken up, but you look over, it looks to be some sort of small garden they must be tending. There's some chickens. There's a goat tied up to the edge of the railing on the house. The goat's chewing on the rope. You're not quite sure how long the goat's going to remain there. And again, he has disappeared. You can hear some
Very
sounds
well.
going on inside.
I follow him inside.
As you step through the hedgerow, wow, that really hurt. You're not quite sure what it was, but you do kind of see the world kind of rotate up as you spin down. The back of your head's really, really throbbing at this point. And then it goes black and it doesn't hurt for a while. Until you begin to come slowly back out of it. As you're kind of moving around, it seems really hard to move at this particular point in time. You can't even put your hand up to your head. As a matter of fact, it seems to be tied real tight down to the side. There's a cloth that's been shoved in your mouth. You can taste. I don't think they washed that before they put that in there. And then there's another piece of fabric that is tied up around here. You can't even move your legs. And then this horrid stench. And again, as your eyes begin to adjust to the light, there's fabric rubbing up against your cheek and all encased around you. You can't even move whatsoever. And it smells like earth. And it's a terrible design on this rug. It's atrocious.
And I can't see around me at all either.
No, all you can see is a little bit of light coming from, as you can tilt your head up down that way, but what you do hear is a man's voice, and it sounds like the one that had invited you to come over, and is talking to another individual. You don't recognize that voice. He's like, look, just if you don't want to wake up with a family dead and your throat slit, you're just going to do it. Just listen, I don't want to get killed either. Do you want to die? And you hear the other voice like, no, I don't want to die. Look, Sep says, we got to deliver this rug to the caravan driver. The old hag wants one of these interlopers, and we're going to get her one. And that's just the way it's going to be. The other voice is a little bit nervous. But if the gravesman hears us, he sees what we're doing, I mean, is he going to notice the body in the rug? The other voice is really upset. He's in a rug. He's not going to be, how is he going to see him in the rug? Well, what if they inspect the rug? Who inspects a dirty rug? As they begin to argue with this, you can feel the rug get lifted up. And they're not very gentle moving you about. And out the door, they must have just gone down some steps. You hear a creak, you're assuming that must be the gate. And as you're moving along the way, you can hear the sounds of Newtown, the village, the streets, and you hear this, "Hi, Echo, Damon, come over here. I want to talk to you." You're like, "Oh, I know that voice. That's a caravan driver guy." And a little bit, you can hear Echo and you can hear Damon like, "Oh, Mr. Driscoll, hey." As you get a little bit further away, you get hearing more of their conversation. Then the wind gets completely knocked out of you as the rug that you're in gets hurried up, obviously into the back of the caravan. And then you sit there for a little while. You can hear another voice that you recognize. You're like, "Oh, no, I know that one. That's the tax guy." As he is talking to the caravan driver about the goods that are in the back. They seem to exchange a little bit of money, and a few moments later, the caravan begins to move. And off you go out of the city as you're kind of tracking what's going on by the sounds that you're hearing. You can hear two other voices that you recognize that must be the gate guards, and this time they're arguing over the best use of honey and tea. And then you feel like there's a shift going on. It must be that you must have turned out onto the Traders Road, and you are, at this point, pretty much consigning yourself to whatever fate is going to happen. And then your day turns worse. About 30 minutes or so up the road, you hear all these horrible dog-like sounds and then screeches from the people in the caravan. And again, the rug gets thrown back down to the ground. You can smell barbecue after a while. And then there's another cacophony of sounds that go on. And you're like, "Oh, I know those sounds." You recognize the sounds of your party members. But unfortunately, you get heaved into the back of another wagon, wind knocked out of you, and then all Hades breaks loose for like the next 5 to 10 minutes of you being jostled and bounced around until the wagon that you're in tips over and you and a bunch of other people making grunting sounds roll out while you're still in the rug. And that brings us back to our party.
It's really fun about all my spells is they require verbal components.
I wonder why you might have been gagged. So, chase is over. You all are sitting there. You can see the one wagon that had all the people in it is tipped over on its side. They're all kind of tied. They're all tied up, but are kind of laying out there like, "Ah!" The other wagon is definitely way back that way. All the goodies that were in that wagon are dumped out way down the trail there. But the people are looking to get out from under it. The two wolves that were attached to the front of the wagon, one of them is dead, and the other one is making whimpering sounds. And that is where we are at the moment. What are you all doing?
The people. Spread out. Gentlemen, is everyone okay? Here first.
No.
There's like a mark across Bond's face. Just wailing.
There's still a tree branch like embedded into my forehead. I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm just cradling you like a little football. Gingerly set you down in the meadow. Oh.
All right. So are you going to do anything with the people that are tied up that are kind of staring up at you at this point? Or?
Immediately start untying folks.
All right. You don't recognize any of these individuals, but Damon and Echo, as you all are beginning to get them untied, you definitely recognize them, and they're like, "Oh!" And several of them are hugging you, like, "Oh my goodness, thank you! It was terrible. Like they ate Reginald. They just ate him. I've never seen something like that before. They were horrible dogs." Where's Reverend? Is he not with you?
No, he left.
Well, thank you all as well. And again, as you begin coming through the last thing you see is this gaudy, horrific, dirty rug sitting there. And at first you're like trying to figure out what is this rug, and all of a sudden it moves just a little bit.
No.
You stabbed the rug?
No.
Oh, okay.
I smash it with a hammer. Yeah.
Well, like a bug in a rug. What are you doing with the rug? You can see the rug has been tied up in several locations along the line. It doesn't look like the way you would normally bind a rug.
I see these two talking to the rest of the people. Looks over. What were you all transporting?
He does, drinks and that sort of thing, like beer and ale, mead and wines and things, but I don't think any of those made it. And occasionally, maybe some whiskeys and such. She does, like dried meats and sausages and fineries from way down south. People seem to enjoy these spices and such.
Why is this rug moving?
I've never seen that horrible, ugly thing. It was in Reginald's wagon, I believe.
And Reginald's dead, so he can't tell us.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's dead. They kind of had him tied up over the spit.
Oh, yeah. He's dead. Vaughn, we should probably get people away from this if it's another kind of collector situation. Don't you think?
I agree. I'll take some of the folks away. Start kind of asking some of the folks to step away from this rug, taking them. I believe there was an edge of a wood line.
Yeah, you guys are basically at this, where you are sitting right now is actually an old abandoned road here in the woods. Looking at it, it's been overgrown and not used in ages for any sort of wagon transportation, that sort of thing. What you can see is that either animals or some other bipedal creatures have been using the pathway. It's not really well beat down. You can actually see where the grasses and stuff like that have been moved out of the way, but you're pretty much surrounded by woods all the way around, which is part of the reason that several of you ate some of the low-hanging branches.
Everyone, if you could step this way with me. I'm worried that for some reason they had some type of one of those beasts or creatures or something else tied up in this. I don't want this to.
At that point, you see all the people in their bruised and kind of beat up stages that they really push themselves way back, like.
Take them away.
Can I move with that group?
Now, are you like pushing them back, or are you behind them as they're moving back?
I'm at the front of the huddled mass, going backwards. I'm curious.
Anna, Carrie/Mary, maybe you guys, being the stronger of us, should help us lift this?
Yeah.
You do see that Mary has a bit of a dazed look in her eyes.
You're all right.
Are you feeling okay?
Did you also try and just like kind of brunt force the tree branch?
You did what?
I think it won.
It didn't.
I think it won.
Please.
Oh, no.
Does anyone else
quickly
hear
now.
the rug talking?
Yeah.
Rugs can't talk.
Where are we putting the rug?
Should we open it?
Put it on the fire.
Skeech, no, we're not burning the rug.
I'm just going to open the rug. Are we fine with that?
Yeah, you're
sounds
gonna cut
great.
it
Okay,
open?
Yes, I'm
or
going to
burn
cut
it
it.
open,
Like
or-
60
I'm going
feet
to
away
cut
with
the
the people
ropes
with
right
natural
away.
Everybody's in combat stance.
Any touch over
As-
there? I don't know.
Damon comes out, you can see he flicks out his dagger, gives it a good slash here and there, and the ropes come open and the rug kind of rolls out, and out you see a very familiar looking purple suit. And you're very shiny, as a matter. Well, not quite as shiny actually as it used to be. Looks a little scuffed up in some places, and his hair is just a mess. And there's some caked blood on the back of his head.
Are my hands tied?
Oh, you're still tied up. And they've gagged him, the Reverend.
I think we should just tie the rug back up. That's my opinion.
I am beelining towards my best friend.
It's all safe, everyone. I think we can go back.
Aren't you glad you didn't set the rug on fire?
I'm gonna start cutting his ties, and like I ungag him and I start like cutting the ropes that are tying him together.
As soon as you untie me, I pull out my rapier. Where is the tax man? Is he here right now?
And all of a sudden, this sad look is on the Reverend's face as he goes to do it. He goes to pull out his rapier, and it's not there. As a matter of fact, he's got basically just his pretty outfit on. He's got none of the rest of his gear.
My potion bottles.
They're broken.
I will get him. So help me. I need to sit down though. I just kind of
Sit in the dirt.
crumble over into the dirt.
Put a little hand on your back.
But your best friend is here.
And thank you, Skeech. My trip that I took to came here was a little bumpy. And I vomit a little bit off to the side.
Performance, please.
Oh, it's not an illusion.
Oh, I know.
Nat 20.
Wow. All of you all, even if you had any resentment towards the Reverend, can't help but feel moved and like, oh, that poor guy. As it just this sad, terrible little wretch that he does. He's trying to keep it off of his suit, like, and he's looking down all sad at it. Like, you're like, oh.
Immediately after I wipe the vomit off of my face, I begin to start cleaning my suit with prestidigitation.
And after a few moments, the suit looks amazing again.
I would like to reach into my bag and pull out that little piece of bread that I saved from earlier.
Oh, well, for me,
You're hungry now, right?
I felt better, but yeah, I will take it. Thank you. I apologize, my friends. This is not the most compromising position I've ever found myself in, but I am somewhat embarrassed as on account of the last time I left you was not on the best terms.
Vaughn walks back up, chuckling with the people back behind. You hear him say, it's all safe now, everyone.
They're like, it's Reverend. They seem very, very happy that you have rejoined. Like, what are you doing inside the rug?
This lifts my spirits a little bit to see that the crowd is happy to see me. It's all right. Fear not, my people. Feel not, my people. I am all right. Through the grace of the one God, I have persevered, and I am here with you now.
Maybe, I don't know, this is just a thought that crossed my mind. You stop talking and just stay quiet. It stopped drawing attention to yourself.
I did that. The whole
No,
time I was
you
in the
didn't.
rug that stuffed my mouth, I could
You
not.
still made noise.
That is how we found him,
I
though.
was trying. Yes, I heard someone was going to stab me.
Oh, yes, I'll own that. I was nervous, to be quite frank.
Well, I would say that I would have survived because I would have my healing potions to heal myself, but they are my bottles were all smashed.
If you don't, how did you find yourself in this precarious situation, Reverend?
Well, you see, I was
Oh, before you get started, the brief version, if you'd be so kind.
Oh yes. Would you believe that I was on a noble quest?
No,
Would you believe that I was trying to help someone heal them?
no.
Yes.
That's what I was doing. A poor soul was in need of help, but I should have learned my own lesson. You see, when you spend a lot of time telling lies, you learn a lot about the truth. It seems I was bamboozled, took. I felt a blow to the back of my head, and this is where I find myself. But I did hear the voice of the tax man, and I will get my vengeance.
The taxman.
Yes, I
Did
believe.
this to you?
Well, he was in cahoots with some other figures. I heard their voices muffled. I couldn't quite tell who they were. I did hear a name, Seb, but I couldn't see anything. I was blindfolded and gagged and then wrapped up in a rug. Sorry, I don't know exactly how I got here, but I do know that the tax collector was, I believe, attempting to get his revenge on me.
For what?
Well,
The long version this time, if you'd be so kind.
Yeah.
do you remember we had a run-in with him as we first entered town?
No.
The tax collector was a corrupt individual. I don't know if you picked up on this. I sought to smite him, not in the manner that Anna here would smite her foes, but in a more metaphorical sense. Bring him to justice. I did so through the use of subterfuge, as is my wont. That's why you saw him being bound up. But once he was freed, I believe he must have been plotting against me ever since then.
And if you get vengeance on him, won't he just try and get vengeance on you again? And then we're just wasting time in Newtown?
This is true, but I do think that the presence of corrupt officials in the town is a hazard to these fine people here.
You mentioned that you had taken a blow to the back of the head, Mary, are you capable of assisting the Reverend? Reverend, if you would accept.
Have I taken any
assistance.
damage?
Yes, you are down 4 hit points.
Yes. Now that you mention it, And I do still have some caked blood back there. I was not able to clean that. How does it look? How does it look?
Not pretty.
Oh,
Lots
based
of
on your
swelling.
reaction, well, yes, I do appear to be injured, but I will persevere.
How the rest of the individuals, the rest of the folks look?
They look abused a bit. They've obviously suffered at the hands of the gnolls, definitely not very fair and nice treatment. Bruises, maybe some small scratches and stuff, but I mean, obviously nothing life-threatening. The biggest harm that happened was kind of the wagon tipped over, they kind of bounced across each other, no broken bones, but definitely a little sore and, you know, yeah, they could all probably hoof it back to town, but a wagon would probably be much more beneficial to get everybody back. Much more slow going without a wagon. And the wagon that obviously tipped over where the one wolf is dead and the other one's sitting there injured, the wagon itself is still in operational order. It's the two wolves that seem to be in some trouble at this point.
Can I go take a look at the wolves?
Mm-hmm.
I'll just approach them slowly. and just
One is
hands up.
definitely dead, and the dead one's laying on top of the injured one.
Oh.
Because the way the wagon's pitched over on its side, and it's just making these little whimpering sounds
Mhm.
at this point.
I would like to follow Echo and just see, yeah.
Are there any children?
No children in the caravan.
I will just kneel down next to the wolf and slowly try and remove the corpse from the living one.
Okay. I would say give me an animal handling, but you can probably do it with advantage because I think Anna, you said you're assisting him.
Yeah,
Over
I was
there?
following along, but
Yeah.
I'll come and, yeah, help with.
I'll kind of give you a look.
Mhm.
That'll be a 20.
20, dirty 20, nice. All right, so very gingerly, the two of you work to pull the dead wolf off the other one. And again, these are not regular wolves. These are younger, dire wolves. Definitely, they're not weaned. They're weaned. They're not pups. But this is definitely their second year. They're still very, very young, still very robust. And you can see this one has got some scrapes and stuff. The collar itself must have obviously ripped off a couple of chunks of the fur and things. But outside of that, the animal itself looks relatively undamaged. It is looking at you kind of hesitantly, but not with fear, almost like a bit of confusion at this point in time.
I will kind of reach out my hand and just let it take a scent if it is suspicious.
Interesting. Are you using any skill to do this, or are you just sticking out there and seeing what the wolf is going to go do?
I have some experience with animals. I know kind of the way to go about
Okay.
treating feral animals.
I
So.
thought I would
Yeah.
double check on that. So yeah, I will still let you roll with advantage on your animal
Okay.
handling on that.
Better. 23.
23. All right. This little magic moment happens between Echo and this young wolf. As he's reaching out, you can see it looking at him. It begins to kind of hackle up a little bit. You can tell it hasn't had a very nice life. Skeech is something kind of like, I don't know what that's like. But as he reaches out, he actually is able to touch the muzzle and kind of stroke it a bit. And at that point, you see the ears change, and they go from that flattened out to kind of perking up. And there's this little flick on the tail, which was dipped down before, and it pushes into Echo's hand.
Hi. Hi. I'm sorry, what happened to you? And I will use animal speech, and I'll say, what's your name? In wolf. So to you, it just sounds like I'm like,
I am fascinated.
Squishing us working
but at this point, I am on both knees, and I'm just kind of like petting the wolf on the face and just.
Because this is a
Getting the
family-friendly
joke out
show, the wolf tells you a name in Goblin that means something relatively derogatory.
Oh no, we can't do that. Our audience, and I gesture to the people behind me, wouldn't like that if that was your name. We'll figure something out. You don't have to do this anymore. You can come with us. We'll keep you safe, and all you have to do is not bite anybody. It's a pretty good deal.
Do you understand what he's saying?
No.
Go ahead and everybody else drop a perception roll real fast, please.
Oh, my strong suit. That's a 9.
Oh, yeah.
13.
modifier?
8.
3.
Oh, wait. Perception? I have 17.
17. The only person, and probably because she's up close, notices this change in the coloration of the wolf's eyes. And Echo, you feel it as well.
Uh-huh.
It's just almost a little bit of electricity between the two of you, the wolf and yourself, and you feel a connection. And the wolf steps up next to you and actually rubs up against him. When it does this, remember, this is not a wolf, this is a wolf. It's rubbing up against him. It's already about chest high with Echo. I mean, it's a dire wolf. There's no question about that. You from looking even there in the north, recognize exactly what this thing is. And it is doing something that is very uncanny for these creatures. They actively hunt humanoids. And again, goblins and relatively evil creatures like dark speakers utilize these things for all kinds of beasts of burden, attack animals, and that sort of thing. And it is buddy up to your fish out of water rangery person there.
Having seen the change in the wolf's eyes, to go towards Echo and be like, if I'm allowed to touch, I might be able to soothe some of the wounds. Would that be welcome?
That sounds like a good idea to me. Are you okay with that?
Well, it looks up at you. And again, the change in the eyes, it went from all white to all blue when it made that transition. You don't see any irises or anything else like that, and it is this almost like an ice blue glow. And it, again, it's looking at you. It's still pressed up against you. It doesn't seem to be growling or anything else like that at her, because apparently it looks like it's checking your body language, your reaction at this point.
So I'm going to reach out very, very slowly, watching Echo to make sure I'm still good.
This is Anna. She hits things with a hammer,
Hi, but not you.
and she helps people. And now wolves too.
And I'm going to touch the wolf and put in 5 points of divine healing.
All right. The skin that was kind of abraded on, you can see it kind of knitting itself back together, and there's looks like a little bit of hair is starting to grow back from the spot where it was damaged from the rains and stuff it had, and the tail begins to wag back and forth much more vigorously, and it gives you this big, wet, liquidy lick on your hand.
I think she likes you.
Oh, amazing.
Did I see that? I saw that happen.
And you can see that Anna is currently getting licked by this giant creature. Whether it's licking her for the taste to see whether it likes her or not is up for debate, because your perception roll on that is kind of like, ooh, scary dog.
I'm more concerned about the healing that she did.
Is it possible to spare the dead one?
Unfortunately, its time has come and gone on this poor creature. It is dead. Looking at the injury on it, it would take a bit more than just sparing the dead. When the cart careened over, there was a nasty snap on its neck. So it's a nice gesture on that, very nice gesture. But unfortunately, it just is you don't know what happened to the other two for the other wagon. But as far as these two right here, only one of the two of them appeared to survive the accident.
I kind of notice Mary giving the deceased wolf this kind of sad look, and I'm like, Mary, do you think it'd be possible if you said a prayer for her friend? I could translate, but I think it would be better coming from you first.
Sure. So I walk over to the dead wolf and I reach my hands up to the gods, the one God, and I ask for its divine power to help its soul reach the one God for eternal peace.
Go ahead and give me religion on that, please.
Well, that was
Yeah,
lovely.
let's see. That would be a 6.
6. You're a little bit unsure how to pray for an animal. Most of your training and such and your experiences have been for praying with a person, and you're searching for the words, and you feel confident that you said a nice little prayer. What has happened to the spirit of the beyond, you're not quite sure. There wasn't a parting of the clouds or anything else like that, but I mean, it was enough to get from here to there on it. It wasn't like, oh, I should have said that. Maybe I should have said that. Kind of second guessing. But one thing you did notice as you were doing your praying on that is there is a brand on the hind quarter of this wolf. And when you look over, you see there's also a brand on the one that he has. where the wolves have obviously been tagged by the owners.
What does that look like?
It is this really nasty looking goblinoid, like almost like a caricature of a goblinoid face. And you're assuming this must be what they utilize for their language. It's hard to tell. I've never seen anything like that before. Skeech, you do recognize this. If you're kind of peeking at it, it is one of the southern tribes. Or right by the mountains, I would say, by the west, right where the Western Territories are, is where those goblins come from.
Hey, Echo, I see this branding on this one. Maybe you could ask him what it means.
Yeah, I can't read this, but I can, looks something goblin. Did anyone know where Skeech went? Skeech?
Talking to the Reverend at this time. So your rival is a tax man.
Rival is giving him too much credit. I am unrivaled, many would say.
Yes.
But I do have a grudge against him, a vendetta.
Do you need help killing him?
Oh. Well, you know what, I'll get back to you on that.
Skeech, where are you? Oh, there you are.
I'm being quiet.
You can come over here. We need your eyes for something.
As Keith walks past, I want to just try and get some of the dog drool, wipe it on him.
On his backpack?
Yeah, just yeah.
I'll bumble along.
So there's some kind of symbol here. We were wondering if you were familiar with it.
Oh, that is not from the Merklowers. That's a more western, little bit to the south. It's a goblin clan. I'm not sure which one.
You do know that it would have been a long trek for them to get from here to there.
I don't know what they're doing all the way up here. Well, never mind.
Strange, isn't it?
It's been a strange past 10 days for me.
Yeah. Sure has.
Do you think you could ask the wolf maybe about its journey?
Oh, yeah, sure.
They don't talk.
Bark, bark, bow, wow. Where are you from?
Wow, not 20. The dog recounts this in dog terminology and how it kind of sees the world of this journey from way to the west. Basically, the goblins and gnolls that basically it was with a goblin tribe initially, and the goblin tribe was captured by the gnolls, and the gnolls basically took the tribe east, and they were heading towards the city. Why they were doing X, Y, or Z, not coming to this area, it's not exactly sure. All it knows is they're coming to serve. That's all it knows.
Not very clear.
It's,
What? You look like you just saw a ghost. And at this, I'll kind of, I guess I don't even need to kneel down if the wolf's probably taller than me. I'll just kind of put my arm around her head and just go, I used to know some wolves even bigger than you. And I'll kind of just walk with her back towards the group and just kind of making chit chat.
At this time, go ahead and open up your package there.
Okay. Oh. Sealed.
You have just earned your animal companion.
I'll try and not rip it. I failed.
Fortunately, we'll have a prettier version of this for you next week. So,
Well, as he's opening that, so are we just gonna have a wolf now?
Yes.
What do we think about this?
We think it's great, Reverend.
I know you do.
left.
are you not used to traveling with wolves?
Skeech is in it.
I suppose that's true. I don't really get a vote in this group currently.
No, you do not.
Yes, I anticipated your remark, David.
Have I ever seen anyone from the Watchers?
yes, but they don't bring them to town. Most of these people would be terrified of something that hunts and eats them actively, coming into their city around their children and their homesteads, things like that. In fact, they're relatively actively hunted in the north to make them go away.
Please do not quote me on this. I am with the Reverend on this one.
Are you worried she's intimidating?
Well, I was gonna write something else in my dossier on Vaughn, but now I'll write that. The Reverend was right.
I'm worried about what this could mean for us and for your new partner if we got too close to Newtown.
We are all children of the All-Mother. I don't think we should be saying she can't come in just because she's big and scary.
I'm small and they want to kill me.
Yeah, that seems more like a problem with the town than with us, don't you think?
But I think that very same argument, though. It's not that we're not understanding folk, and obviously there's something special that you've just forged with this, but we can't speak for them, and I would hate for somebody to make a poor decision.
I have an idea. And I look over and I glance at Damon's jacket, and then I glance over at the rug on the ground. I think people view Damon, and they don't view him as intimidating, even though he could probably kill all of us, because he wears a very expressive fashion. So what if we use that rug and we made something similar for the wolf?
Like some sort of like last season jacket? Is that what you're thinking? Or like?
Well, I mean, we don't have to be so judgmental about it.
Oh,
but,
okay, no,
but
I was just a descriptor, not a. There's nothing wrong with reusing.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but I like the sound of that.
Mm-hmm.
And you're also quite fashionable yourself, yes?
Oh, thank you. Yes, I mean, well, this armor really.
Yeah, I don't really understand the practicality of it, but I'm assuming it's important to people. So,
Yes, fashion is important. On this, Anna and I can agree. So you're proposing to disguise, well, not disguise,
Not a
but
disguise, more of a display of togetherness. If we,
But it looks so friendly and unassuming that people will not be able to even question.
yeah, like Damon.
That's true.
I
see
have
what you're
a,
saying.
I have a proposal.
I quite like Damon's jacket.
Exactly.
It's so bright.
Hold on, are you proposing that if Damon didn't wear that jacket, I wouldn't like them as much?
Maybe. But what I'm thinking is, if the eye is so
Seven clothes make a
drawn
man.
to the fashion choices, you almost forget that there's a man who pulls secret knives out of places, or a dire wolf under it. Your first thought is, why are they wearing that? Or did they make that themselves?
I'm
Or-
sold.
So since you are in agreement with the Reverend, I now have 3 people, because I'm choosing you to be part of this, on board.
It seems
Any
irrefutable.
puppy with a sweater is well loved.
Okay, so I think it's decided. Steve,
Legit.
is this okay? We
He
can also cover up the
his
brand.
burn victim band.
Do we think that we, how large is let me ask this in a very specific way. Does the wolf fit into, oh, I don't know, a 15-foot cube?
Yes.
I have a proposal in the interim. Of course, if you'll have me.
Look at the wolf. Is this okay?
It's looking at you, wags its tail like,
You're not gonna
okay.
hurt her, are you?
No, I understand that we probably have some things to talk about, but for the time being, we got a crowd staring at us. We'd have a giant wolf. Perhaps I could make the wolf be something else for at least until we got back to the tavern, and then we could make a sweater for it if that's what you choose to do.
Just don't turn it into a goblin. I don't want it getting tied up in a tavern like you did.
Hey, if you allow
Those are
me,
your faults, Keach.
when I go to what is its name?
We can't say that right now.
Oh, all right.
We gotta think about that later.
Go to the wolf and produce a piece of fleece from my pocket. They didn't take this. Swipe it across the wolf, and it begins to shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink until it is the size of a Pomeranian. A tiny 2-pound dog. Fuzzy.
Give me a performance check, please.
I'm casting a spell improved illusion.
I'm tracking where you're going, but all the witnesses, I want to see.
That will be a 21.
Wow. Okay. They're like, it's a miracle.
Oh my goodness.
And at this point, everybody in the caravan's like staring at the Reverend, like, oh, wow. And they go over.
A sight to behold.
And you have this little problem. Unfortunately, when you go to do that, you're like,
Lock eyes.
it is the heaviest Pomeranian that you've ever tried to pick up unsuccessfully.
As I was reaching into my pocket to produce this fleece, I touched my coin purse. And what do I notice?
Sadness.
Oh,
No.
Hey, Reverend, I was thinking since you're no longer part of the party, maybe I could get my gold back. I know it might weigh me down a bit, but it's fine at this point. I think I can handle it.
hey, well, you know what? Let's get back to the tavern and then, you know what? There's some people over there that are dirty and unkempt, and I need to help them. I will see you later.
Yeah, sure.
And with that, we are going to roll into our first break of the evening. So please rejoin us to see how the Reverend handles the lack of cash for his dear trusting friend
So embarrassing.
and his giant dog. And we'll get back into the adventure here shortly.
Toy direwolf.
Hello, and welcome back. We're going to pick up where we had left off there. So our heroes have just rediscovered their lost friend, the Reverend. Echo has just acquired himself a cute little puppy dog who wasn't quite so cute and little, but now is cute and little as a Pomeranian. And the party looks to be heading back to the town of Newtown. Are you taking the wagon, bringing up the horses that you got to it, or what are you doing? How are we walking back?
Spend as much time as we can allocates and getting everything right and taken care of. That way it's easier to get these people back to town.
Fixing wagons is not amongst my skills.
Fortunately, when you guys right the wagon, the wagon itself isn't damaged or destroyed. You right it back up. Looks like the wheels and stuff still function.
The bite mark.
It may there is definitely a bite mark. One thing you are noticing is that Mary does have kind of a bit of a dazed look, and looks like her bell's been rung pretty solid from that blow she took earlier. Just not quite the same facial expressions that you noticed in some of the stuff before, coming a little dazed out on the eyes. But again, hooking up the horses is not too hard. Actually, when you took the reins off of the wolves, it was the same ones they had utilized for the other horses. So you arrived, you believe you had all 4 of your horses when you made it here. So you could hook up 2 for the wagon. The other 2 you can accompany on the side. You can let them go. What are you doing?
If there's essentially any excess rope that we have laying around here, maybe within the wagon or the caravan itself, is it possible that we could kind of daisy chain them behind us?
Wouldn't take too much to hook up the reins to the back of the wagon. And there is enough room that everybody can uncomfortably pack into the wagon, and on the bench seat, get 4 people packed in real tight on the bench seat. Everybody else is kind of stuffed in the back of the wagon for the rest of the ride home. Think that's how you're heading back with the Pomeranian keeping up beside you?
She's sitting in my lap, and I'm like,
Oh yeah. Probably want to not do that because again, while it
roll
looks like it's
Constitution?
well, again, the problem is like if you do that, there may not be room for enough people to get into the wagon. 'Cause
Okay.
While it looks teeny,
Yeah.
it's just an illusion. There actually is still occupying the physical space.
Do I need to? I'm whispering this. Do I need to explain the principle
No, I
of
think I
illusion
understand.
magic to?
She gets it by herself.
So, again, next to the wagon, the Pomeranian's keeping up. Like amazing how fast that little thing can run.
And now that you have touched it,
uh-huh.
you see right through it.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Back to town you're heading, and you pass by the other wagon that had spilled out with all kinds of goods laying out there on the road.
You know what? Let me go take a look at this wagon, just in case any of the valuables of these fine people are in there.
And they all begin hopping out too, just in case some of their fine goods are.
I run to the wagon and I start looking through it.
You are able to recover almost all of your gear. Anything that did not have that little slash through it, you're able to recover.
But my bottles were crushed.
Your bottles were crushed, sadly.
Yes.
But you are heading back to Newtown, so there may be a possibility to acquire a new
If
bottle.
anyone has enough notes in me enough, they will see many holy symbols being pocketed, not just.
I thought there was only one God.
What are you talking about?
Nothing.
Any unattended garbage or random knickknacks, thrown in bag.
Your overstuffed backpack gets a tad bit more overstuffed.
Well, I guess I'll have to drop some of the bags of dirt.
Oh, that's a shame.
No, you should keep those. Those are good for composting and soil for planting. I don't really have room. I need to stay lightweight. That's why I don't carry money, but I appreciate the gesture.
Yeah, sure, I'll take some of your
You have a little patch of dirt?
Jar of dirt.
Is this the dirt from your homeland, or is this the dirt?
No,
from,
this is dirt from the mine.
Dirt from the mine? Oh, okay. Yeah, well,
Oh, maybe
it's dirt.
Is it in a jar, in a satchel? What's it in?
It's just a small piece of cloth that's been tied to
Stitched.
twine. Yeah. Strip soil right there.
Thank you for this. Tucks it away.
All right. Reverend's kind of re-equipped there. Back to town. You all are heading. You're quite happy to see most of your stuff back. Doesn't seem to be worse for the wear, but again, unfortunately, there's no evidence of that missing item that we had talked about earlier. Back to town we proceed. As you bring the cart back up to the main gates, Emmett and Roland are there. They wave you through. Well, that didn't take too long there. Oh, that's a cute little puppy you got there. Can I pet it?
You should ask this one.
He's got the rabies? Oh, you better put that down. Do you need some help?
No,
And he goes reaching for his
it
sword.
wasn't rabies. Sorry, I'm new here. It has social anxiety, and you should leave her alone.
He bites. Vicious beast.
Yeah, I bite. Oh,
The dog.
I thought you were referring to me.
She, the dog.
I do bite
bites.
as well.
Terrible trainer.
Roland is at first scared of the dog, then all of a sudden backs away from Echo, and then backs away a little further from the dog, quite confused about which one he has to be more worried about getting bitten. And
Play it safe with both, to be honest.
back into town you go. Unfortunately, Driscoll is no longer with the caravan. You just have the rest of his surviving members there. And they're all kind of a little bit confused about what they're going to do at this point. They kind of hop down there as you come through the front gates and kind of park. They're like, well, we thank you for saving our lives. We don't really have a whole lot to reward you with. We pretty much mostly just got this wagon. We're going to be looking to head back down south to kind of put things back together. Because we're certainly not going to be hanging around here. But, if there's anything that we can ever do to repay you for this in the future, just let us know.
Vaughn speaks up. There's quite literally no need. This is the very least that we could have done for you. I'm sorry we don't have more connections here in town to get you more established here, but certainly no payment is necessary. We don't need anything for this.
Well, thank you very much, sir. And Reverend, that was an amazing miracle. You worked with that creature and thank you so much for helping save us.
You're welcome.
It
really was nothing.
It was miraculous. Damon, and one of the people goes to hug you and kind of stops and steps back. Thank you, Damon. And Echo, and then they actually give Echo a hug.
Perhaps our paths will meet again as I make my way back down towards the Spice Coast and the Timorol Islands.
We thank you very much. If you're ever going through Edelheim again, let us know. We'll be glad to do whatever we can to repay you, and the rest of you as well. Edelheim is where most of us have our homes, so just let us know when you're in town. We'll be glad to put you up, offer you food, whatever it is that we can do for you. We thank you so much for giving us our lives back. And you see them kind of getting the wagon set up for a trek back to wherever they're going. They've taken back all 4 of the horses. One of the guys seems to be leading the horses back into town and then up towards where the stables are. I'm not quite sure what he's going to do with that while the rest of them are waiting. And here you are back in Newtown. You're on that main drag looking ahead. You see the Great Hall. You see the greaseman's office just next to that. Taxman's office is back out through the gates. You'd have to go back outside to go say hello if you wish. What are you all doing?
I start to get looking at the position of the sun, checking my timepiece. Echo, we should make our way to an alley or something with your tiny dog.
Good time. It's all right.
No.
You
And
look nervous. Why are you sitting like that?
as the time of the spell passes, this dog starts to turn into a medium and then a large.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah, sorry, it's got a
I mean, we can always,
duration.
did we bring the rug?
Yes, I did.
Okay, well, that's, I guess, yeah, you're probably right. We should probably wait till we're in a safe
All right.
place
So,
to do
did you
that.
make it into the alley? Did he follow you, or did you
I'm
stay
trying
there in
to-
the street and talk about this? Because if it's coming back out,
I'm trying to usher him into
you're
an
by the
alley.
front gates where the guards are.
Oh,
There are
oh.
also the guards that are up on the top as well. There isn't just Roland and Emmett there. And this is where a lot of people are
I
passing in and out
anticipated, but
into
like
town.
it's gonna. We have a couple
Okay.
minutes. It's
I'm
gonna.
just checking on that there.
I'm following the Reverend's lead unquestioningly.
So into the alleyway you go. It's not really an alleyway. It's a space between two of the houses that line that main drag. And as you cut in through the yards and come out the back side of it, interestingly enough, you're looking, and straight ahead is a smaller house, and just past that is the back of the Red Valerian. And as it follows around, you can see where the blacksmith hutch and stuff like that is. So basically, what you are on is the other side of the cul-de-sac as you went through the yards. There is not any foot traffic that could see you from where you are right here. So literally, this is almost a shortcut from the gates right over to the Red Valerian.
Well, I can conceal your first friend again until we get, or we could see if we could go in the back door of the Red Valerian.
Whatever you think is best.
Oh, I think is best what was me skipping town, which I tried and failed to do. So, what do you all think?
Is there something we're gonna have to do every time we enter and exit the town?
You see, I think that given enough time and enough heroic deeds, which you did a great job with while I was gone. Bravo, bravo. Great job, Damon. I believe you did solid work, at least I imagine you did. With enough notoriety, perhaps people will let some things slide. Like a large...
Damon's face
King
just
Knight.
turns ice cold when he pat him on the shoulder there.
So, would you say that the thing that you're running from is approximately large dog shaped, large wolf shaped? Is that the?
I'm not running from anything, ma'am. You wound me with your assertions.
Just like watching his like body language, and his voice change.
Sus.
Just how is that like?
That would be an insight.
Oh, wonderful! Oh, wonderful!
I knew this was coming.
And if you would like to deceive.
Oh, of course.
Come on! No! No!
What was that?
It's a 5.
It's a foe. What did you drop?
8.
No!
But I rolled a 2.
Oh, sweet. So it's the wow, that was terrible. So you're not quite sure what to read, and you can't really come up with anything good. But it worked. That's the important thing. There's a lot of you're still not sure what it is that he's running
I
from.
feel so confused.
You know, it is a confusing world that we live in. You know what makes the world simpler? Some fine food and fine drink. But, yes. Although the last time I met with you, I thought there was a matter of some arms and armor that you were trying to get fitted.
That was an unfortunate conversation. Would you like to tell the tale or shall I?
Oh, please.
They've agreed to assist us with getting some of these fittings tailored more accurately to us, and they said it will take upwards of 3 days. Most likely at minimum, pending anything else in their queue. We had hoped to make it back into the shambles and go investigate what we had all seen whenever we found our friend here. And that's when we found you.
And if I had not thanked you already, so we're going to
He's still won't.
get your armor fixed, put our feet up for 3 days.
There
Or?
was a small matter of also we don't have quite the funds necessary, and we were just talking, and we thought that maybe you were holding like the little gemstones that we found, and since we're reunited, which is just such a stroke of luck. Yeah.
It reminded me of the gemstones,
Mhm.
the bag as well.
Oh yeah.
Still have that.
Oh, it's right here.
He pulls out the strange little pouch that you all have with the silver writing on it, and a little bit of rope hanging off the edge.
A small pouch, which is conveniently the size of a trinket.
Yes, open it.
Wow.
a bunch of gems tumble out, and they even make a little tinkling sound.
Can I grab one of those?
Don't worry about it, I have these.
Give it.
I want to, knowing there's already been multiple illusions cast, I want to see if I can use investigation.
Roll with advantage on that, since you were like hyper. Go ahead. And
That'll be a 25.
That's gonna be my DC.
I say nothing. Damon, you know.
Oh, I know. Give it.
I was robbed, all right? Now, I know that you all think that I'm little more than a highwayman, but that's not the kind of business that I get up to. However, the scallywags that apprehended me, it is the kind they are in. I have been looted, and all of our gold is gone. There you are.
Appreciate your honesty. I'm very forthcoming of you. Minus the small illusion.
It's second nature.
So,
what are you people doing in my backyard?
there it is!
You see the homeowner come out looking, you're like, this is my yard. Get out of my garden.
It's a lovely garden.
Oh, thank you.
It's
Get out of it.
Let's go.
And trying to cross out of the cul-de-sac area.
After picking up nothing from the ground, but yes.
Taking something from the
You
garden.
can hear little Tom's. You can see him over in his shop. He's banging away. You can see Fletcher over there with his sons. He's working on some bows and that sort of thing. Obviously, they're relatively busy still, as you can tell. Red Valerian, you can see at this particular point in time of the day, about mid-afternoon at this point. There's not a whole lot of clientele coming in and out, but you're relatively sure, judging by where the sun's sitting, not too much longer before people are going to start migrating their way in for dinner. Anybody that's going to be staying the night is going to be heading on back, that sort of thing.
I believe I've made a friend with the proprietor of the Red Valerian. Perhaps I could convince her that she could let us use back entry, assuming there is one.
There's a back door, yeah. I mean, but it's obviously for business purposes because it connects to the kitchen.
I don't think it's too far of a stretch to ask. I mean, we did cause quite a hubbub the other day, so maybe it's best to avoid some of the individuals who are just there as looky-loos and not actually purchasing anything. Could be an easy sell.
It's worth a try.
Also, I hate to be this person. I know we had plans before reuniting back with the Reverend. I could really use some food and some rest this evening before trying to make it back in.
Yes.
We should try and rest quickly, though. We want to get down to that door before anyone else does.
I agree.
If you'd had me, I would accompany you to the door. Perhaps I can recoup some of the costs of my misadventure and repay them to you.
As we're now walking, hopefully, over towards the Red Valerian, there is that one small piece of the puzzle, I believe. Remember, I believe we're going to need some assistance in trying to get into this door.
That's right.
That's right.
You don't happen to be part elf, right?
Last I checked.
Excellent.
I
yeah.
do, I've dabbled in the Elven language. Quite proficient in reading it.
Noted.
It's not all smoke and mirrors, my friend.
As you're all having this conversation, this crier comes walking into the cul-de-sac and begins making this announcement. Hear, hear, come one, come all, tomorrow. Gildan's Caravan of Wonder opens for all ages. There's something for everybody there, sights we've never seen before, from the far reaches, all the way down from the Timber Islands, up past the frozen peaks. You must come, you must come! And he continues walking around, and as he's moving along, he's shouting all kinds of various little catchphrases to pull things along, stopping by on the tree, hammers up a little bit flyer, moves further down the lake, see him stop somewhere else on a post, hammers up another flyer for it.
That seems a little bit too timely, does it not?
Well, we knew about the caravan, right? We knew we'd be here tomorrow, so when we're done resting.
If that opens up quick, I think it'd be possibly convenient.
We'll go see it. Nothing has ever bad has happened to me for being incurious about something and throwing myself into a situation.
Although I guess we are just window shopping.
Heads on a swivel, looking for the tax man, having no description.
So,
Be anyone.
who is going to go in through the back door to try to talk, or is somebody going to the front? What are you looking to do to get into the Red Valerian there? I believe that's still the game plan at this point. All right, so who's taking action here?
Well, you should go to the back to not arouse suspicion. Some of us can go in the front and talk with our town keeper friends.
And who's going to be our lucky party for that?
I'll go to the front door. Anyone go with me?
I'll come.
Skeech, please don't take offense, but perhaps you should go in the back with Echo and the dog.
It's a wolf.
The wolf, yes.
Okay.
All right, those of you that are going into the front, stepping into the Red Valerian, you can see Delphinia is up there at the front desk, looking out into the actual tavern itself. Zilda's bebopping around out there. It's not busy at this point, but definitely starting to pick up as you were stepping in. There's people walking past you, heading to the tavern too. You can see Astor's in the kitchen with the woman that you always have assumed up to this point must be Zilda's mother. Big Tom's at the bar. There are a couple other people sitting up there with him. He's pouring drinks, chit-chatting. The musicians that were there are not there this evening. So the tavern itself is relatively quiet, just some murmurs of conversation. Again, most of the people that were adventuring you do not see in here at this particular point in time of the day. Again, it's probably about 3 o'clock or so in the afternoon.
I know what to do. I make sure my hair is looking well. I apply a dab of perfume. Make sure my coat is especially sparkly. And I walk right to Zeldan's mother.
You're going to Zilda's mother in the kitchen?
Yes.
Okay. She's there. You can see her at this point. She has got like food cooking here on a stove. Over here, she is pulling stuff out of an oven. She's got a stew pot over there that she's kind of stirring with a third hand that she's kind of moving around.
I'll make sure
and at the same time taking care of spices and such.
I'll make sure not to startle her, but make sure that my presence is known. Hello.
She stops over. She's like, oh, hello.
Hello there. Are you the chef?
I cook.
You're responsible for cooking the food here. I just had to come by and give my compliments to the chef.
Performance, please.
Say magnifique.
It really is amazing. Can I give him advantage?
Go ahead.
David, where are you at right now?
Oh, it's on the edge.
I'm just kind of
Gotta
there,
re-roll.
not with
Back in the
them,
box.
but
That was a 19.
Sat down at the bar.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
18. 18 and a 2. Woo! So that will be the performance.
Yes, sir.
24.
24. You can see her cheeks kind of flush. Well, you know, there are family recipes that we've been making for quite a long time. My mother taught me how to cook, and I always tried to pass it down to Zilda, but she's much more of a business-minded type of individual. You know, that's kind of her thing.
Takes all kinds to run a tavern, madam, but this simply will not be the Red Valerian without your delicious victuals. I have been everywhere from the Spice Coast to the Western lands and everywhere in between. Never, ever tasted anything quite as delicious.
She kind of starts to get this little dreamy look in her eyes. She's looking at the Reverend. She's like, really? You're just a man of class and travels.
This is true. I do have a favor to ask you.
Okay.
Well, as it will involve your kitchen. You see, we've gained some notoriety in town because of our daring deeds.
You're the lot that rescued those kids.
That's correct.
Damon and I
Oh
sitting
my
at the bar.
Oh, yes. Anna has been talking about you, Anna.
Oh,
You know that her and Katja are staying at Zilda's house.
oh, really?
They don't really have anywhere else to go. And
Oh.
tomorrow is be Katja's first day serving out here on the floor. Do you know that?
Oh, that's wonderful. I had no idea. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that.
So they said that she would take them in because, you know, there's really not a whole lot of things. And going back to that place is probably not the best choice for them. It's quite burned down from what I understand on that. But, you know, there's always room for, you know, some of our lesser privileged individuals for things like that. But I'm sorry, what would you like us to do?
All that I ask is the use of your back door here so that we may enter and exit without causing a commotion for your patrons.
Sometimes it is locked, and that's that's just kind of the way we do things. So Tom, he likes to keep things all secure. He just comes from his years of serving in the force. You know how that goes.
I understand. He's
so-
a man of action.
Oh, he definitely was a man of action. Oh, he was strapping back in his day. If I hadn't been married to Mr. Periwinkle, I might have been interested in Mr. Broadhelm. But he's single.
Yes.
now. That might be weird though. Anyway, but yes, sure. You can bring your friends in through the back door here. Just we need to work out a knock. What type of knock should we use? Something
You
easy
just
to
hear a
remember.
thump on the door.
Reverend!
Why did you throw me?
Just a very loud knock. You'll know that we're there.
Okay, well, I guess that could work. And she goes over and unlatches the back door, and she's like, okay, and opens the door up, and sees the giant dog out there, and her eyes get quite large as she backs up, like,
Hi. We're just going upstairs.
You might not want to take them through the kitchen. Go back around the further part to the middle section there. I'll get Delphinia to open up that door for you, because if you
Very
come
well.
out through the kitchen, you're gonna have to go through the tavern.
Oh.
And I don't know if a big dog like that would be really good to have around all my food and
Well,
stuff.
that's what we're trying to avoid. We would not want to cause you any kind of distress.
Let's take care of it that way. And she closes the door very quickly. You can sense she's like, and she's like, well, let's come this way. And she begins taking you out through the tavern itself and up towards the front desk, where Delphinia is just like, kind of just bored, staring off into space at this point, and whispers something to Delphinia's ear. She's like, what? Big dog? I'm not getting in trouble with Mom or anything, am I? And the grandmother's like, oh, no, oh, you'll be fine, don't worry. Just it's those Reverend and all his people. And okay, I can go back to the kitchen. And off to the kitchen, she quickly scurries away. And Delphinia's looking at the Reverend. Did you and Damon? You're still drinking with Big
No,
Tom?
I'm still at the bar.
I'll tell you exactly what I was doing at the bar when we get back to it.
Okay.
You hear a message on the wind. I think it's going well.
Anna, did you go with them? So Delphinia takes you through the back behind where the desk is, and down obviously a service hall that they use. Passing by, we see lots of different linens and things like that they would use to take care of the beds, and all kinds of chamber things to change out. And she opens up the back door. Oh my goodness! And just seemed enthralled by your puppy wearing this giant rug.
And Skeech is also.
Ew. Oh, Ew. It's the little burn thing. Okay. Well,
They're all with me.
Yes, okay, look, when you just down this hall, there's this back set of stairs. I think your dog will fit. And up to the right is where your room will be. I think it's not gonna go to the bathroom in there, is it?
Oh, no, of course not.
It's house trained?
Yes.
Deception,
Yes.
please.
You can talk to it. 9.
9. She's like, it is gonna poop in the room, isn't it?
I'll make sure that she gets plenty of walks in.
Oh.
As in, we're gonna be not here very often.
Okay, good. If you are going to walk, definitely do it behind the space, because when you were back there, what you see is the wall, the palisades for Newtown. There's a space between all the buildings and the palisades, so you're not butt right up against the palisades. There's a large gap. That way, obviously, if there's an attack or something along those lines, if they're trying to burn or knock down the palisades, none of the buildings are directly against that. Also, it doesn't allow somebody to tunnel through the palisades to open up an opening as well. So there is a nice area back there for you to walk the dog.
That'll be like the puppy removal area at the airport.
Although it doesn't seem like anybody else has ever used it for that, but this may be its new purpose.
For everything.
Wow. So up to the room you all go, and Damon and Vaughn and Mary, are you at the bar as well?
Well, I was with them, but I noticed that people keep talking about people and things that I can't recall any of it. And I am so utterly confused. I go to the bar and I sit down and I'm like, there's something wrong with me, guys. I don't know. I think that Branch really did a number on my head.
some rest, maybe? Or you think it's something worse than this?
I can barely recall anything from the past
Couple of days.
few days.
How far back can you remember?
The last thing I remember was falling off the wagon.
So you at least you obviously remember all of us and what we've been doing for the past couple of days.
Not really. I remember you all kind of like, I know how to tie my shoes, but I don't necessarily remember learning how to tie my shoes.
At this, you see Big
So
Tom
it's
just
more
staring at
important.
her, and he's like, "What did you do to the lass?"
Low-hanging branch. Classic tale.
That is a very nasty insult. She is a fine young lady.
We were writing.
Oh, she's not the low. Oh, no.
That was insulting.
You're the one that called her the low-hanging branch. But anyway, here, young
Not
lady.
how I recall that.
And he slides a little flute of wine over to you. He's like, usually good for long days on the road and that sort of thing. And these young rapscallions, you definitely need to watch out for them. He twists his thick handlebar mustache as he goes back to what he's doing. Damon, anything special I can do for you, sir?
No.
All right then, always a pleasure.
You hear whisper in the wind. Order me an ale. Your friend the Reverend is thirsty.
I'm not doing that.
You're not doing what,
Can I
Damon?
speak to you again?
Yes.
What?
You would like an ale, but I'm not doing that.
Did you say the one god asked for an ale?
Yes, he speaks to us constantly, all the time.
One God works in mysterious ways.
He's very annoying.
Sets his own flagon down. Takes all types here at the bar. All right.
David, before we go and convene back up with the others, I have a question for you, if you would humor me. I saw you make that leap of faith, if you will. Where did you learn to do such things?
Just travel.
Travel, really. Insight, please.
Make a check.
Sus.
Damon, if you'd like to counter with deception.
What would it be deception?
Or you don't have to. Or you can just let the roll
Not
go.
travel.
Okay, I can see that.
17?
19.
19. All right. The unreadable face of Damon just stops any sort of penetration that you have behind his armored veneer there. And you're like, travel. Even though you're sus on it, you're like, what? You can't read anything. Literally, I mean, it's just like you're looking, you're checking all the tells. There's nothing. I mean, like stone faced.
What a different matchup of wits.
I guess that tracks. I imagine that's where you found those fine daggers. Those
Of course.
Not the types of things that a typical traveler would have.
No,
Where
I
did
just
you get
found
those?
them. Around. I've been to different caravans, circuses, carnivals. People trade.
Did you perform?
Eh.
You were a tough one to read, David.
Gotta stay mysterious.
It's appropriate. To be honest, I was genuinely just curious because that was quite impressive. What you've done. I've seen many folk try to do similar things and try to be as, I guess, lithe on their feet as you are. It was impressive, to say the least, and I wanted to pay you compliments for what I had noticed.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The most emotion you've gotten out of Damon this entire time, except for "Don't touch me." So I think on the you might be cracking the his armor there. Maybe not. All right. Anything else you're doing the rest of the evening? Grabbing some dinner and some drinks and just kind of recovering.
Take whatever platter or tray you can back
Can
upstairs.
Can I get a thing of alcohol that is not ale but looks like ale?
So you're looking at Tom asking him that.
Yeah.
I deserve us.
Ale that is not ale. Hold on one second. Now, are you one of these individuals that has a weak constitution or a weak stomach maybe?
No.
You got a strong stomach? You can
Of
handle
course.
some liquid fire?
Mm-hmm.
I've got something for you. And he reaches down and he's like, oh, I know it's here. And he comes over. I was like, oh, I don't see it there. Huh. Wait a second. And you see him kind of dip off to this little, you didn't notice it before behind the bar, but it looks like there's a room back there. As he parted these curtains, it's not the kitchen, it's a separate little thing. And here's some rustling and some muttering under the breath. And then out he comes with this bottle. And he pops the top. There's this little, an effervescence, shall we say, comes out. And he pours it into the flagon. He's like, here we go. Oh, yeah, here we are. Slides it over. And do you take a whiff?
No.
All right. It looks like ale. It bubbles like the ale. It's quite nice looking.
Yes, I'm going to take it upstairs with me.
All right. And upstairs you go. I take it this is for the poor Reverend?
Maybe.
All right.
In the room, when everybody returns back, you'll see Skeech in a losing skirmish to our new canine companion about the comfy corner he set up.
Oh.
Go for the legs.
Oh, no.
No, not aggressively. We're practicing. Practice.
Gentle bites.
Gentle bites.
There are no gentle bites.
Okay, so the dire wolf basically has kicked Skeech completely out of his nest. However, after it kind of curls up and like nestles itself in, as Skeech is looking all sad, it reaches over and picks Skeech up by the back of its kind of nape and lays it kind of down with it, and then kind of tucks up with Skeech.
A look of comfort and fear.
I think she likes you.
And it starts licking Skeech.
Making friends up here.
I'm just watching the whole thing, just like very amused.
It's gross and cute at the same time, given the amount of dog drool that is currently on your goblin. And into the room, Mary, Vaughn, and Damon rejoin.
I brought you your ale that you asked for.
Well, I suppose I was just kind of joking. I don't want to have to
Oh,
owe
but
you
you've
anymore.
been through so much. You were in a rug. It's the least I could do.
All right. Well, thank you.
You are so welcome.
I feel like I didn't deserve this. Although we did have quite an adventure together on
We've been
caravan.
traveling for such a long
that's right.
time.
Well, I throw a big swig back because I've had a long day.
Please give me a Constitution check.
Well, because Damon sits next to me and can see my character sheet, he knows that I have 0 Constitution. All right, Constitution save. That is a 7.
It's fantastic.
Plus 0.
So the Reverend grabs it and throws this big chug down, just goop, goop, goop. And it is actually a delicious tasting ale, as far as you first think. And then it kind of hits your stomach as you set the glass down. You're like, ooh, ooh, feeling kind of funny. And the alcohol pretty much begins to almost immediately absorb into the Reverend's system. And within a few minutes later, you can see the Reverend has this goofy looking kind of grin on his face. And it's just smiling. He's also having a very hard time remaining upright. He keeps doing that slide down, gets himself back up, and then it's like kind of a slide down, back up. I mean, he's not unconscious, but this is probably not a man that would win a race at this point.
What did you do to him?
I gave him ale.
How you feeling over there?
Yes.
Anybody like to play a game with cards? They all knew me as
Make a dex check at disadvantage, please.
Quite the card shark. Dex check.
Disadvantage.
I'm going to take a couple steps back from the Reverend.
It's a 7.
He plays a bit of 52 pickup. Anybody want to play some?
Is this your card?
Yes, thank you.
You can have it.
There's
You're
still-
so nice to me, Damon.
There's still about half a flagon left, Reverend.
You know what would be good after a hard day of getting wrapped up in a rug and tossed around? A fine drink of this delicious beverage.
Constitution save with disadvantage this time.
That's a 10. I'm throwing wild. 9.
9. As he's sipping on the thing, he's like, glug, 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 and you just kind of see him continue to go back onto his bed, and the flagon falls to the floor, and he's just got this goofy looking grin as he's just laying there, out, having a very peaceful looking sleep at this point.
Well, I don't have to be part of the planning now.
Anna,
He just looks snug as a bug.
the
in
question
bed.
you had asked him earlier, if he was being chased, would you want to try asking that to him again?
I would love to.
You are a crafty individual.
I made that even real life now.
Well played there. All right, you gonna bring him back to consciousness?
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, Reverend, we were just talking and we were trying to remember earlier what you were saying about the dog and about like what you were running from, and we were just like laughing and just trying to recall, like, so can you refresh our memories? Damon, would you help me with this? Insight, would you keep an eye out?
Of
Okay,
course.
Mm-hmm.
How bad I fail this is going to determine how I answer this. What do you want me to roll?
Deception with disadvantage.
Deception. Sorry, not good. 16.
16. Ooh, wow, you are
Got a
good.
+6.
Wow, all right, insight check, please.
Oh no.
But you got Damon helping you there, so.
Yep, so I got advantage. Come on. No! 11!
All right. Go ahead and spin us a tail, Rev.
Well, you see, I am running. I can't deceive you any longer.
Finally.
I found myself running afoul of some pirates.
Oh my God.
Timral Islands. You see, I was a swashbuckler.
Stop talking.
Do you think
And I buckled my swashes too much. And they didn't like it. And
the jacket makes sense now?
I'd like to go to sleep now, if it's all right.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just
fine,
gonna
that's
kind of lay down. Just kind of.
Buckling those swashes, yes, that'll do it.
Maybe next time something stronger?
And the Reverend goes off to sleep as he continues talking, and he's kind of murmurs. Get myself crusted
out of me.
Wow, well rolled. Interesting. I really thought that was wow, entertaining. So.
Dang it.
I know, right?
We are so close.
Every now and then you get dice like, really? That's where this is going? So, well done. What are you doing with the rest of the evening, folks? You have an unconscious Reverend at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You have a dog snuggled up with its Skeech. Take it you all gonna kind of rest and recover, get yourself a nice long rest in.
Mm-hmm.
Have some rooms. You got the room service coming up. All right. So after a nice meal, Reverend, you sleep through the night. Next morning comes. Everybody wakes up nice early. You have absolutely no hangover. You're like, what happened last night? You have zero recollection after you were drinking there.
No.
Everybody has their hit points restored. Again, nice long rest. So any spell slots, prayer slots, things like that were used up, you've got those back. Your dire wolf is still a dire wolf at this point. Your Skeech, you wake up in the morning, has all kinds of dog fur all over him. And it's still got him kind of a paws crossed on him. I don't know how well you slept last night, Skeech. Yeah, I mean, actually, it was really nice, kind of warm. You had a big fur blanket on you.
I am insulated.
We're not even sure if he actually used the word right, but it did work in this situation. Maybe he was insulted. I don't know.
Instigated.
And you can smell breakfast is going on downstairs. Yes.
Did I find my rapier in?
Oh, yes, you did. Yeah, the gems, any coins, those sort of things, the easily recognizable valuable items, those were all gone.
And my bottle of unicorn dust is for surely gone.
Yeah, actually, yeah, all that would be gone as well. And it is again, it's the new morning again. What are you all doing?
So is the caravan here today?
This is supposedly the day that the caravan would be opening up.
So we got the caravan, and then we could probably see that on our way to the back to the tavern.
So yes,
Yeah.
worth swinging by before we leave.
What do I know? Do I know anything about this caravan?
Yeah, that would the information that we had talked about earlier in that note. This would be that caravan.
Okay.
So,
Damon backstory.
Do you want me to open the note?
oh, please go ahead. Let's take a look and see what it says.
Okay, let's hope I don't rip it.
Oh, wait, that wasn't the new note. That's for something later on. Ooh, that was the other note that we talked about. I apologize. Yeah, that's for later on this evening. Ooh, I almost did a boo-doo. Second time I've almost done that. Good game master. Fantastic. He should do more of that. All right. But yes, the caravan is something that you would be familiar with from your background on that. So take downstairs for breakfast.
Before we go down, I'm going to look at the Reverend. Don't try to swindle them.
Swindle whom?
The caravan.
Well, the honest working folk, they probably don't have much to be swindled out of.
Just don't try anything.
Damon, you have my word.
Just don't.
I know my word does not mean very much to you, but it's all I have to give at this point.
Well, you know, you had a lot of words last night. We heard so much.
Yes, you're a swashbuckler.
Very talkative.
Oh, I told you a tale. I'm sure it was very entertaining. We should get some food for the wolf. What do they eat?
Probably everything.
Do you want to know the answer to that?
I think we're gonna change up the diet a little to maybe something a little less human-based, but
It's not always human.
humanoid-based. Maybe more what we would eat.
Perhaps we could find a road snack for it. I don't know.
Yeah, probably something at the
Your
carnival.
pet, whatever you
Or
want.
caravan.
Do you have any concerns about us being able to get enough food? I just
No.
imagine it has a larger appetite than
Yeah.
your run-of-the-mill puppy.
I'm a pretty good hunter. I think if it comes down to it, leave it to me. I'll make sure that she gets enough food.
Tails wagging at that point, hearing him say that. It stands up, gets off a skeech. Well, actually, kind of pushes skeech out of things, stretches its back, arcs up, and it goes to the doors, tails kind of wagging like, all right.
You know, I was thinking about her name last night because I'm definitely not calling her what the goblins did. I had a moment of clarity when I got hit by that branch, and I was staring up at the sky, and all I saw was blue, and that was the first thought I had when I saw her eyes, and then you saw the change. So, why overcomplicate it? I'm calling her Sky Blue, or Sky for short.
Oh, I think that's a wonderful name.
Thank you.
And
Still
the wolf's tail wags, big time athletic, trots over to you and gives your hand a little lick and leans up against you, which you're really surprised about the body weight of this thing already. It's still, again, relatively a puppy. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
it must weigh as much as I do.
Probably more. And I'll just kind of pat her behind the ears and then look to the Reverend of where we should go safely.
Well, what better place for a giant dog than a carnival?
I've never been to one.
Shall we?
If you're trying to be stealthy or not be seen, you should not ask me what I think, because I feel like I've made myself known in these regards.
I doubt there's anybody in this town that doesn't know.
Should I keep my head down?
What?
Should I keep my head down?
At this point, I think you're good. We're a bit of a eclectic bunch at this point.
I could gussy you up a little bit if you wanted.
I don't know what that is.
I can make you look pretty.
Okay.
Apply a little makeup and, you know what?
Are you doing this over top of the makeup that you applied last time? 'Cause
Yes,
I am not clean.
I'm reapplying it, touching it up. I even applied a little prestidigitation of some fine smelling cologne.
But now,
Humans think that smells nice. Or so I have been told.
You both look so pretty. Fantastic. All right. we are going to take a short break and get back to here and do this exciting breakfast and then off to the caravan, I guess we'll be proceeding. So do come back and join us here shortly. All right, and welcome back. So our party is now heading downstairs to get a nice, delicious breakfast. Are you leaving the canine in the room, or are you bringing her on down to get a delicious breakfast?
Well, you know what I want to say. What does the party want me to do?
Maybe we could bring some morsels out to Sky.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, and down into the tavern you go. Not as many interested eyes as there were the first day that you all had returned with the children, but you can still see that there is still some lingering interest, people that have not seen you before. What you do notice is that there are a table of very wealthy-looking individuals that are looking over at you, obviously waiting for you to come downstairs. And it is a gentleman and 3 ladies, and they keep like looking over, like and going back to what they're discussing. I would say Reverend, Anna, and Mary, go ahead and give me a perception check.
It's not great, Finn.
Okay, I got an 18.
Mm-hmm.
15.
15. All right.
8.
Fantastic. You are more focused on the fact that they are dressed like they are worth money. Anna and Mary, you both recognize the style of dress is from the Concordance. This is definitely wealthy people from the Concordance, and judging by one of the symbols one of them's wearing, it is from House Hastings, and yes.
Oh, cool.
And they're like, they do not seem, none of them seem to be like, particularly looking at any one of you individually, just more or less looking over the party, just kind of excited, because again, you all are kind of big news right now in the town. But again, these are definitely, this must be some of that new blood that's come in from the Concordance here, because again, they don't seem like they have traveled all day to get here. And obviously, if this is a small town and something exciting is going on, well, guess what? They're going to come hang out with the commoners for a while.
Do any of them look like, do any of them look familiar at all, or?
Again, as you're looking through them, remember the Hastings family is quite large. So no, none of them look directly familiar. But yes, they are definitely wearing the badge.
Oh my goodness, I'm worried about Echo outside with the dog, so I'm just gonna go check, maybe make sure Sky's okay. If you guys could just grab me a little breakfast, that'd be great, and I'm gonna head outside.
Are you okay? He calls out.
Well, I don't get to say anything until I look over at Devon and I say, now who's running?
No room to talk.
Quite perceptive.
Yes, I'm very good at perception.
Back in the kitchen, you can see that Katya is back there with the grandmother and with Aster getting breakfast and stuff together. You can see that the grandmother's kind of instructing her what to do back in the kitchen. Doesn't seem to have noticed you all out here, but she's definitely looking like she is trying to work real hard. Looks like she has been patched up real nice. When you all did the healing, kind of patched up the wounds. But again, looks like she's very focused on trying to do whatever work she possibly can at this point. Zilda buzzes by, lets you know what's available for breakfast. You get your biscuits and gravy like normal. You have the loaves of bread from the Wild Rose Inn. And you've got the standard fare. You have fresh trout caught from the stream, things along those lines. So take it a nice breakfast spread you all order, and are you ordering to go?
If we could get, some road food.
Road food, yes. Snacks
Road
for the
food.
road, possibly.
Okay. She's like, all right, no problem. She's like, I'll take care of that for you all and pack up a nice picnic basket for you and get you out the door on that, okay? So
Sounds wonderful.
about 15, 20 minutes later, things are packed up. It's all packed up in cloth folded bags. So unfortunately, there's no biscuits and gravy. There are biscuits and there is bread and there's butter, but the gravy doesn't, handle too well in a cloth folded thing. So out you go. You can smell delicious smells of bacon. It smells like there is, again, some of the salmon included on that as well. And you can look in there and you can see that they have fresh fruit, but none of the mush, because again, that doesn't work too well with a napkin folding for carrying. It is a pretty heavy little basket there. And she's like, all right, you all be safe as you do whatever it is you're going to do today then. And off she goes to bustle about her table.
Thank you.
And out the back door you guys go.
please.
All right, Anna and Echo and Sky are out there. I take it Skeech is hanging around, milling about, waiting for the Rev.
Absolutely.
I just want to, like, if there's a window, I just want to, like, watch that party, see if I can, like, learn anything
To do
about
that, you would actually have to come out and around the side and kind of look through the front windows.
Yeah, I want to do that very
All
casually.
right, so Anna is not there. Go ahead and give me a stealth check on that,
Oh,
please.
yeah. Okay, a 15.
15. All right, you are wearing your armor and kind of being a bit of a clank, like, oh, that would be a disadvantage. I do apologize.
Oh, it's a disadvantage.
Yes,
Cool, yeah,
so
no,
you're
for
still
sure,
wearing
for
your
sure,
armor.
for sure. Yep.
I didn't see that at all.
Yeah, no, yeah, okay.
You guys were in the tavern. She has come around as you guys are going back out. She's come around to take a look.
Yeah,
Ooh, no, there's about a 20-minute window, so you could possibly see her, but you're right now focused on the rich folk over there, waiting for those 20 minutes.
Sorry, too
Would you
straight.
roll?
Yeah, so with my super fancy -1, that's a 4.
4.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I take that back, Joe. Reverend. You hear this? And you can see Anna's face pressed up against the glass, looking past you towards the table of wealthy-looking individuals. Because you're first looking at it behind you, you're like,
Can I tell what she's trying to do?
go ahead and give me an insight check.
Can I walk out there to her?
Absolutely.
21.
21. All right.
Oh, no.
She appears to be very focused on that table of wealthy individuals. Out of the door comes Damon. Give me a perception check, Anna. Give me a stealth, Damon.
Hi, Damon.
Okay, it's a 19.
19.
18.
18. Oh, wow. Somehow out of the corner of your eye, you caught some motion. And Anna, there's Damon coming out looking at you like kind of confused. Well, actually not confused, but actually interested, I think is probably more the facial expression there.
Hi.
What are you doing?
I was looking through the window at the people at that table.
Why?
Well, I don't have the deception check. That's
Yeah,
straight.
no, because I thought that they looked like really good marks and were so low on money.
Can I insight check that?
Absolutely,
So
you
I just
can.
wanted to
Deception.
try and get us some cash.
Leans over to the Reverend. What are they talking about, do you think?
Well, I think she's trying to be sneaky, but failing at it
Spectacular.
pretty spectacularly.
It's a 22.
It's a 17.
Yeah, that's not why she's looking out through the window at those people.
If you want to spy on someone, make sure that you were not heard. We all saw you, including the Reverend.
This is really
You see the Reverend waving from inside the cabin
I
there.
push his hand down.
I went back. Yeah, so in retrospect, teal armor was maybe not like the best for like covert missions.
Oh, really? You think so?
Yeah, you know, it's all coming together. You know, maybe you could teach me.
No.
What if I like went through like a series of trials and like demonstrated my dedication?
No.
Oh,
Food is served, and out the back. Are you going? Just out the back door you go,
At this
Damon.
point, we'll go out the front door.
Out the front door. So, Echo.
Bowl of china
So,
Still waiting there.
rewinding what had happened. Echo and the wolf and Skeech are still kind of just milling around out the back, like. He's kind of hungry right now.
Go around the back. They'll bring you food soon. Otherwise, I'll go get something. Yeah, well, he's, I'm sure, very grateful.
And the party rejoins you. So, are you going to imbibe your meal here in the back, in the alley?
What, walk and take a little bit in?
that sounds
Lunch to
great.
go?
Yeah, let's get out of
Gracious.
here.
Is the giant dog going to follow you through the city as you're?
How long would it hypothetically take us to get out of the city?
Well, if you use that little cut through, it's relatively quick. It'd still have you going through the front gates, where your two buddies are, most likely on duty.
Will it take us about 10 minutes?
You could certainly accomplish that in maybe 2 minutes.
All right. This time I'll make it.
The horse.
This time I'll make it like a regular sized dog, a respectable size of dog.
Like a pony.
No.
It's already like a pony right now, so it's kind of like a wolfhound size.
Yes.
All right, so it's It's an intimidating dog still, but
So the
not
dog
quite.
can have some self-respect.
There we go. So it's not a Pomeranian. Echo, you get this feeling that Blue is much happier with not being a Pomeranian.
That makes sense to me.
So, and out the front gate you go. You hear Roland and Emmett, hey, what are you doing, folks? And off you go, kind of down to that main, as you're standing at the front gate, by the way, as you're looking, there's a gap between the closest building and the actual palisades again outside, so that they're not right up next to it in case somebody obviously would set these on fire during a raid. It won't immediately set the palisades on fire. But because there is that gap, as you look, over at the rolling hill, you can see where the caravan itself has been set up. There are about 13 wagons. They're arranged in a long U shape. Just past them looks to be a corral that was set up with these amazing black stallions. I mean, there's just about a dozen or so at least from where you can see at this point. It's kind of hard to tell because the caravan does block part of that little corral where they're keeping their horses. And people are already flocking over to the caravan, and it is just a sight to behold. There are all kinds of canvas cloths and stuff that have been set up with all kinds of amazing pictures on them, on items and things from faraway lands. There are kites that are up in the air with these long, beautiful streamers, like multiple colors, blue, red, and green, almost like a rainbow trailing behind it. And it's even from where you are right now, you can see several of the caravans themselves have been opened up, almost like jewelry box kind of style, where the sides have opened up, the roof of the caravans open up, and all kinds of items for sale are there.
Remember, we have somewhere to be, so take a glance at some things that maybe we're interested in, but I don't think we should spend too much time. I really agree with the point made yesterday. We don't want someone else finding things.
I look very sullen.
Listen here, kids, we got somewhere to be.
No, because I'm broke. Just kicking rocks around.
If I could make note, I wanted to leave some junk back at the room, so I had more room in the backpack.
All right, leave a pile literally of junk back in the room. We'll see if it's still there when they get done cleaning for the
We'll
day.
never get the deposit back.
It is junk.
Rats and DM.
Really, there are. Okay, so
For all of us.
for all as you all draw closer, there's this enchanting melody that is in the air, and it's a set of flutes, and it's from somewhere in the camp. You actually don't actually see a band or anything playing, and it's a very catchy, almost invigorating tune that dances in your ears with a very agreeable ambiance. In the air, you can smell exotic spices. There's also burning incense, and there's alluring sense of perfume drifting in the air as well. It delights your nostrils with this vibrant bouquet of smells. And wow, even though you all have just had your breakfast, there are some wonderful smells of like roasting meat too. Kind of strange exotic spices. Now, Damon, you've smelled some of these things before, and so have you, Reverend. But the rest of you have not experienced any kind of these scents before. And again, as you move a little bit closer, you can see the crowd's already funneling in there, looking around. There is a guy juggling blades, and they're on fire. There's another individual that she is literally going from one trapeze kind of set to the other. This is out and entertaining the crowd. And what are you doing at this point as you come up to the caravan? You're looking in right now at the front of that U, inside to all the things that are going on.
I'm just really hoping something will spark a memory.
This is amazing. I have no idea what I'm looking at.
I'm just following behind Damon, just going, what is that?
What are you
What is
pointing
that?
at? What are you pointing
Why
at?
is he doing that?
Juggling the
What does that
knives?
smell?
Spices?
What is that sound?
I don't.
And just constant.
As you all push on into the caravan there, one of the first things that you see is this rather rotund-looking individual with this tousle of black hair on his head. And kind of, very pleasantly plump kind of features, and he is standing in front of this wagon, and he is just hawking all kinds of wares to the passengers that go by. And you see the sign next to him for those of you that can read Northern, and actually, to be honest with you, it's in multiple different languages, Northern, Western, and Southern, and even in a legalese language too, that some of you already speak and know. And it says, Waddle Dunbar, alchemist and potionaire extraordinaire. And as he's got this kind of crowd gathered in front of him, he looks over to one of this farmer and he's like, You good sir, yes. You there in that burlap sack. You look like a fellow that could use one of my fine elixirs. Something perhaps that can make you catch the eye of that fine lady there by your side. And the farmer kind of looks a little bit indignant. He's like, yeah, we're already married. And, she already knows who our man is. And, well, kind of, rubs his chin for a second, gets this really wily grin, and it's like, well then, may I suggest a draught to ease her pain then? And the crowd kind of chuckles a little bit, even the farmer's wife laugh. Looking over next to them, you can see that there is this exotic-looking woman in these really beautiful silks, just peacock multicolors, and she wears this little veil up in front of her face, and there's a sign next to her that says Mia Furlong, and it is jewelry and unique wares. A little bit further down, there's another wagon that is, unlike all the other wagons within this caravan, it is painted black. And there's a very dour-looking individual just standing next to it, and there's a sign that says, Sikor, purveyor of rare goods. And he is just kind of eyeballing anybody that walks by his wagon. And some people kind of walk up and he shakes his head and they kind of turn around and they go walking off. Like, almost like he's not trying to sell any of the wares that appear to be in his wagon. Like he's almost standing between himself and customers. Everybody else around here that you can see all seem to be looking to draw customers in. Way towards the back though, what you can see is the largest of all of the wagons itself, and it is visually the most impressive of all of them too. Again, it's open in that jewelry box configuration. The sides themselves have been folded out. There are all kinds of rugs out in front of it, and there are display cases that have been set up on these rugs. There are racks with clothes and all kinds of weapons and things along those lines. And there is this individual in this very interesting looking outfit. Would you go ahead and describe yourself?
So he's kind of a portly kind of guy. He's dressed in a very bright coat, very bright colors, and the distinctive thing that you notice is that he's wearing these purple striped pantaloons and these bright red kind of ruby looking boots. And he's just got a big smile on his face, and he's wearing a kind of like a turban, like a silk white turban, that's got a jewel in the shape of a scarab, a green scarab, and in the middle of that scarab is a red kind of ruby just implanted right in the middle of the front. And he's got like just rings on his fingers and just very flamboyant. He's got a big bushy beard, and
Looking at his skin, you can also see that it is beautifully bronze as well. Any of you that have ever had any experience with anybody from the Spice Coast would easily recognize that obviously his origins are from the southern portions of the human crescent. And again, above his caravan is this big sign that says Gildan's. Come and see for yourself.
I'm somewhat distracted as we approach because I'm looking at the potion purveyor. Look over to Damon and I say, what does this world come to? People swindling the good folk with this snake oil. I'm shaking my head.
Vaughn pushes by. You can learn a thing or two, Reverend. Looks like a good business over there.
Did you hear that alliteration?
I think if Damon stared at you harder, you might have actually taken a point of damage.
Psychic damage. As I walk past the potion man, I look at him and I go, sparks come out of my fingers. Just to assert dominance.
As the Reverend's walking away,
walking.
these fireworks begin to shoot off behind Waddle's caravan himself, and this little thing was streaming up, and it burst into the clouds for a split second. And as it begins to rain down, all these pretty little star shapes are drizzling down. He's like, "Good day to you, sir."
Sound broke. It's the worst day ever. Rest of the time is I just walk behind the rest of the group, just hanging my head.
Skeech's face, fantastic.
Ready, did you see that?
You know, magic's illegal here. You'd be burned at the stake.
I don't think that was magic.
Just kick a rock.
That rock will definitely not do that again. All right, buddy, what are we doing?
Should we check out this Gildan? Certainly a colorful tent.
It says to come and see, so I feel like that's a great idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
I seem to have the wares that we might be most interested in, although and I do, turns back around to the Reverend. I hate to say this, but I believe you mentioned that your bottles have been smashed.
I don't have any money to buy more. I don't need his potions. I bet they don't work.
All I'm saying is maybe make an arrangement. I'm sure they have supplies, things that you might need to get you back on your feet.
I'll think about it. I'm far too proud.
Gildan's it is then.
All right, party strolls on over. Gildan, you can see, is kind of back up against the caravan towards the back end of it. Again, enough that he can see where people are going. As you come up to the front, there are all these, again, display cases with amazing looking merchandise in it. All kinds of strange looking implements. You're not quite sure what some of them are. Some of them you can certainly make out themselves. There are pedestals. There are, looks like some kitchen gear and things along those lines. But again, as you browse through off that, you can see that there's some fine garments and such. Moving a little further along, there are some armor and weapons, and exotic armor and weapons from the far stretches of the human crescent. And you're looking at, and you've never seen some of these blade designs and such. One of them looks like a khopesh, very similar in nature to what you see your friend wielding, and it is set in this display case with a label on it that says "Do not touch." And it says in there that it is an antique from a bygone era. And it says, see vendor for price.
You know what I say in my trade? If you have to ask, you can't afford it. But I think we should ask.
That's an interesting point there, Echo.
What?
Where'd you get yours from?
I found it. Made it, maybe. I don't know.
There's
What
lots
does
of
it
that
matter?
going around recently.
Huh?
Just finding weapons.
I mean,
You know what? I have really noticed, I think we have a trust issue. I think we all need to be far more honest with each other.
You start first.
Let's see what else he's got.
Gildan's eyeballing you all and just taking in. Wow. I love it when people become fast friends. All right. Gildan,
We become best friends.
what do you do?
Welcome, my friends. Welcome to Gildan's Caravan of Wonders. I am Gildan, purveyor of mystical fare, seller of specialty stock, trader in unique goods, and merchant of miraculous items. Look around. I've gathered the finest wares and artifacts of fascination from across the lands. Commodities such as only to be found in the faraway isles of the Sapphire Seas, the sun-kissed dunes of the Spice Coast, and even the frozen reaches beyond the Dragonspine Mountains. So please, browse my shop. Find out for yourselves why they call this the Caravan of Wonders.
How did you... So much variety, though. You acquired this all on your own for your travels.
Oh, yes, I have been around everywhere, all across the lands.
where did you
Yes.
find the sword?
Oh, this sword. Oh, this is beautiful. Yes, this is a very nice,
Where did
very
you
nice
find it?
item. Why does that matter? Well, I see you have a very similar weapon.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
I
I
see.
hope you're not going to be taking it from me.
Why would I do that?
Well, who'd you take it from? Whose is this?
Oh, I do not take things. I trade. People sell.
No
I
one.
buy.
No one would ever give up a sword like that. It's simply out of the question.
Why do you say so?
The only way these swords fall out of the hands of those who wield them is they die or they're stolen.
Well, believe me when I say this weapon was purchased fair and square. I'm a businessman. I do not steal. I do not kill.
If you say so.
Is there anything in particular that you would like? Anything that you see? Anything that catches your eye?
Well, Echo wouldn't, the sword that you've got, no offense, but that looks like it would be a quite the upgrade. Go on, ask what it's worth.
I know what it's worth.
Ask how much it costs.
I also know how much it costs.
Hey, how much does the sword cost?
Well, as they say in my line of work, if you have to ask, you probably cannot afford it.
That's right.
That's not what I was gonna say, but it's fine.
My,
Well, do you have any, I kind of get close to him. Gildan, you look like a man of sophistication. Do you have any kind of items
There are all kinds of
of a
lovely items
magical
here.
variety?
well, it is the caravan.
Some of them are behind the case,
Of
some of them are sitting in
wonders.
bowls, there's gems, little rings.
Yes, you, my shiny friend, let me, I will show you something, but first, would you like to place a small
If I
wager?
may. Well, that's happening.
Just a bit of a very small wager, and he pulls out a coin. Just toss this coin. If
Oh.
you win, I give you this gold coin.
Roll.
If I win,
Roll a 20.
I get your very lovely bow tie. That is wonderful. I would love to add that to my collection.
Yeah.
A friendly wager.
Well, you know, we gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold
Did you
them.
already cashed it?
I'll take your
So-
wager.
I'm sorry?
You already cashed
Wonderful,
it.
wonderful. Okay, I will flip this,
I thought you
and
already
you
cashed
call
it.
it in the air.
No, I was just.
You ready?
I'm not-
Would you
Oh,
like
okay.
a die that has
Okay. But-
only two symbols on it?
Oh, no. It's fine.
All right.
Uh,
I call it heads and tails. Then?
yes, so if you call it correctly, and it lands on the side that you call it, you are the winner.
All right.
You all ready? Okay. He takes out the coin and he flips it.
Heads.
And it boom, lands right on its side.
Gildan, as you are doing this, out of the corner of your eye, you catch this little clawed hand, reach up onto one of the display cases, begin to reach inside one of the bowls where there's some rings that are, they're valuable, but they're not that valuable, and finds one and kind of,
And he's like not even breaking eye contact with the Reverend. He just goes.
As I see the coin, I do a little finger wiggle and a puff of wind blows it over to the head side. Imagine that.
and it writes
Oh.
itself back up.
Yeah, imagine. I don't know what you are talking about. Imagine what? Oh, do not worry, my friend. This was only a demonstration. This is one of my miraculous items, as you call them. Well, as I call them, I should say. This is available for purchase if you are interested. Meanwhile, I'm talking to him. I'm still holding on to his hand. Like, not even, I'm in the middle of a transaction here.
I hate to interrupt this, but I can't see how this is beneficial to us whatsoever.
What?
Well, it's good for bargaining. I mean, he would have just lost his bow tie to me.
It's true.
It is a good negotiation tactic.
Well, I do like the idea of that coin, but I am fortunately fallen upon hard times.
Oh, I see. That is very, very sad for you.
Perhaps
And
I could trade you.
Oh, a trade. What did you have in mind?
His eyes begin to sparkle when you say that word.
I could trade you for this holy symbol taken from far off lands. Watch. Do we have anyone who needs to be healed?
Do I look like I need to be healed? Maybe your friend here might need to be healed in a moment. What? Oh, wait. Are you? You are the heroes of Newtown. I have heard of you.
Yes, that's us.
Ah, yes, of course. You're the ones that rescued all those
Shove that
children
in my
from
pocket.
those evil fiends. And you must be a friend that they made.
Friend.
Ah, yes. And what is your name, little friend?
Chris.
Chris.
Right.
Risk.
Well, Gildan does not hold grudges. And he kind of like kneels down to like get on your level. You look like you have been through quite a lot, my friend. And he lets go of your hand, making sure you put the rings away first. Takes them off. Yes, yes, yes. Everyone is welcome at Gildan's. And he pulls out a little wrapper, something wrapped in a little piece of paper, and he unwraps, and it's like a little piece of candy. And it's just like swirling colors. Like here, and he gives it to you and he says, "Here, my friend. Maybe this will remind you that life is not all hardships and sorrow. Life can also be sweet." And he gives you the candy. Yeah. It's essentially kind of like
Pop it in my
yes,
mouth. I'll start chewing.
yes. You'll know it like when you start chewing it, you notice that it like changes flavors, and it's like different, like strawberry, cherry, like all these different flavors in there as you chew it, and you notice that it doesn't get smaller. It's kind of like a gobstopper.
Did you eat it with the wrapper on?
No, I took
No,
it out. I
Everett
took it
was
out of
in
the
Oh,
wrapper.
okay.
No, I took it out of the.
I thought that was the flavor.
I felt that he would probably eat it with the wrapper, so I made sure to take it out. Yes, but
Spit it out and put it behind my ear, making sure it sticks right for later.
Oh,
there are other. Maybe I can interest you. Oh, you are heroes. You will need items in your adventures, perhaps. And he runs back to one of his wagons, and he just goes, and one of the drawers pops out, and he takes out like a little pack of what looks like gum. I call this Gildan's gum. Would you like to try some?
No.
All right. Your loss. And he takes it and he starts chewing it. Strawberry. And he starts chewing it. And he's like, well, this is not typical gum. And he takes it out. This is very special. And he takes a piece off and he puts it on the corner of one of his tables. And it just like starts to bubble up and starts to burn away the corner of the table. This is corrosive to wood and metal. Could get you out of some very sticky situations. Just like the gum. Not harmful to any kind of organic material. You can chew it. You can put it in your pocket. But if you ever get in a tight spot, you may place it on a lock on a door, perhaps.
A rug?
Does not work on rugs, unless the rug is made out of metal. I have been around the world a few times, and I have still yet to see one of those.
But who would get stuck into a rug? It would be preposterous.
Yes. Well, I have seen and heard of many things, so I would not be surprised.
This sounds like a very useful thing for us, but I don't know if we can afford it, can we?
Well, for you, for the heroes of Newtown, only 30 gold pieces.
Is that
You can
good?
use it 3 times.
It's above what we're currently able to afford.
And may I ask, what would that be? Just so I can get an idea of.
Well, I don't know if you are familiar with the saying, but if you have to ask, you typically should begin with us.
Yes, my friend. I like you. I knew you had the touch. Well, fair enough. Well, perhaps everything at Gildan's is negotiable, and for heroes such as yourselves, perhaps we can make some more leeway on the price.
I'll give you. He unties his bow tie. I'll give you this bow tie for the coin. Do you have a name for the coin?
You're getting the coin over the corrosive gum?
You shop for what you want to shop for, and I will shop for what I want to shop for.
What situation is a coin that lands on its side gonna get us out of? If we're going through a secret door in the tavern.
Well, I have. You need to expand your horizons. There are a whole world of interpersonal relationships. I'm playing to my skill set.
Fair enough.
I'm not a strong warrior like you are.
Yeah, it takes a lot of strength to put a piece of gum on something.
He's not interested in the gun.
Yes,
So-
it is also very subtle. If you are taken prisoner, they don't typically make you spit out your gum. Or so I've heard.
The coin though for the bow tie. This bow tie has been around the world, my friend. It's seen things you would never believe.
Oh well, try me. But it is a very nice boat.
And if you go like this, it spins around.
Oh wow, well. Oh, you drive a hard bargain. For you, my shiny friend. Only if you come back to see me and actually buy something next time.
That is the one thing I can agree to. You have my word.
Deal. And he shakes her hand and his eyes just kind of spark up a little bit.
I take the coin and I start doing the thing where you like dance the coin across your fingers.
And it just like keeps just hopping finger to finger. It's like, yeah, you roll it and then it just pops to the next finger. You roll it again and it just pops to the next finger.
I'll figure something to do with this. Trust me.
Perhaps.
Amazingly enough, it's on its side, even in your pocket.
Just feel it like I dig it in my chest there.
And you, my colorful friend, may I ask, what part of the world do you hail from?
Yes, what part of the world do you hail from?
You look somewhat familiar. I feel maybe I've seen you before. Are you perchance from the Spice Coast?
I've been there from time to time.
Yes, it is a faraway land, but not hard to find for anyone that knows the way. But maybe I can interest you in a few other items. Perhaps something for your little friend. Don't take this the wrong way, my little goblin friend. But it is, he pulls out, goes to another drawer and he just pops out again. He pulls out and it's a bar of soap. But this is no regular soap. I mean, it does have the same properties, of course. It will clean you up, make you smell fresh, but it also gives you a boost to your social skills. It helps with when you talk to people, when you try to convince them of things, and also when you try to be quiet. No. Well, also the smell, that kind of helps with it too, The more you smell, the more people notice you. So if you want to be able to not be noticed.
This whole place smells.
Ah, yes,
Maybe that's why I
but
fixed the window.
I can smell you as soon as you came in above the spices. No offense, of course.
Thank you.
Yes, I can see that. I can see that you have been through a lot, so I cannot blame you. But this might help. For a mere 100 gold pieces.
Gildan can immediately see Ray's eyeballs going to roll back like, oh.
My friends. Although you are heroes, I must run a business.
I propose, if you'll hear us out, we have some business. I'm sure you've seen the other adventurers, the other parties heading in towards the city.
Oh yes.
It seems as if most of these folk are looking for things, pilfering through what the citizens have left behind. But if we were to come across some items that we could find, maybe of interest, of use to someone like yourself, a purveyor of fine goods like this,
And who values exploration.
let us do the heavy lifting for you. We bring some items to you, you help us with maybe appraising them. Maybe you're interested in some, maybe you identify some of the items that we have found.
That is a service that I offer. Do you have such an item?
Looks over. Yes, in fact, I think we actually do. I'm curious if something like this would ever be of interest to you.
You take out the pouch.
Yes, I'll take out the pouch.
Oh yes, this is. It takes very fine craftsmanship. Where did you find this?
Is that necessary?
Well, your friend was very up in arms about how I got this khopesh, so I figured that it is worth it to know to satisfy your friend here. to make him understand that I do not just purchase anything from anyone.
Well, we found it on our last trip in towards the shambles.
Oh, I see. The same place where you found this little fine gentleman here.
Found a lot of things there.
I see. Well, you did find a lot of kidnapped children in there as well. So I imagine that there were some spoils lost in the battle. Was this among what the hordes took, I would assume?
It was along with some other belongings, not too far off.
I see. Well, I can identify this item for you. I do normally charge a price for identifying magical items, but since this is our first meeting, you are the heroes of Newtown. I will do this one for you for free.
Give him the first taste for free. You're a man after my own heart, Gildan.
Yes. I knew that you and I were kindred spirits as soon as I saw you. And now I have this lovely bow tie to remind me of you.
It really complements the whole ensemble.
Oh, yes. Well, I was not going to wear it. I mean, I do not think that a bow tie goes well with a turban. It just seems to clash.
It's your wardrobe.
I will keep this as a keepsake. And he kind of places it in with like the rest of his little items there. But yes. Let me see this. And he goes back to a table and he places it on the table. And just a moment, please. And he puts his hands on it and he just kind of closes his eyes. And you see the jewel in his turban kind of begin to glow, just pulsating red, and then it's brighter, and then the green scarab just kind of glows, and he just mutters some arcane words under his breath, and then he just opens his eyes and everything goes out. He's like, oh yes, I know what this is. This is a pouch of endless rope. Yes, very useful item. It has, you mutter a magic word, and it will let out as much rope as you need. I believe that this could be as long as, well, quite a long rope. And then you say the magic word to stop, and it stops. And you can cut it up to 3 times before it disappears. And it could hold up to 2,000 pounds. Use it wisely.
Can we stuff the rope back in?
Oh yes. You can retract the rope. Yes, and he gives you,
What is the
describes
word?
it in detail.
Well, I take the pouch and I
Tuck it back into your
tuck
jacket.
it back into my jacket.
I see. You are the leader of this outfit.
Was.
Until, oh well, that is none of my business. I'm sorry.
What's the word?
That's a great question. What's the word? The magic word?
Oh,
Please.
it is, well, deploy, I believe.
Oh, fantastic! It's deploy.
When you say it, does it like start happening already, or?
Well, he's got it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
It's not like you're just walking along in town, all of a sudden somebody says deploy a boom.
And it's
Like one of those like
Oh, she's out of
Kansas
here, yeah.
snakes. Like,
Yeah, you would have to willingly activate it, being the one that you're holding it.
Yes, I do have a few other items. Please let me show you. And he takes out another drawer, and he takes out this belt. And have you ever wondered what time it is on, say, the Spice Coast right now, or maybe in the mountains? Well, this belt is for you. Not only is it very stylish, it also tells you the time anywhere in the world instantly. And he goes, he asks, what time is it in the Dragonspine Mountains at the moment? And one of the watches like, and displays the time. I call this the waste of time. But don't let the name fool you.
I don't get it.
well,
A mere 15 gold pieces. For you, maybe even 10, but alas, perhaps next time.
You're a man of many treasures, and you've been showing us very interesting things.
This is true.
You've been all around.
I have.
Do you sell anything that you wouldn't show your normal customers?
Well, there's always something that I keep in the back for my special customers.
What about, I don't know, elf's blood?
Elf's blood?
Hmm?
Why would a legitimate businessman like me carry the blood of an elf?
Oh, you just seem like someone that would. You collect many different things.
Looking around.
Looking around for
Perhaps you might.
people.
Perhaps.
Over where you are right now, there is nobody that has actually come over to this area. They seem to be very entertained by the front stuff that's going on, the acrobatics and things like that right now. You are the only ones currently in the shop. Go ahead and drop a perception real quick, since you made mention of that.
Not great out of 10.
10. All right, something is a little bit off, but you're not quite sure what it is. But you know that there's nobody directly around you. But there is something that's just kind of bugging you when you're standing in here. Like, not like, you know, you feel like somebody's gonna walk and put a knife in your back, but just like you're like, something's off. You're not quite sure what it is.
Perhaps you would be more comfortable in asking my associate, Wattle Dunbar.
No,
He
I'm
deals
asking
with-
you.
With potions. I am sorry, but I am afraid that I cannot assist you with your request at the moment.
Do you know?
Why would you need this for, if I may ask?
Where'd you get the sword?
I see. Well, let us just leave it at, I do not have what you are asking for.
Is there any evidence of like dried blood on the sword at all? Does
No.
it look like it was used, or is it completely clean?
There is some wear on the sword, but it is in remarkable condition considering its antiquity.
Are there any marks or anything I'd recognize on it?
No.
Okay.
But it is of the same fashion as yours.
I don't think he has what we're looking for.
Well, if you maybe perhaps give me more information, perhaps I can keep an eye out.
We found. I'm gonna come clean with the man. He seems at least about as honest as me.
That's
Found-
My word.
We found a door,
Oh, yes.
and we have good reason to believe that the door will not open out the blood of an elf. Now, seeing as there ain't been no elves around here for quite some time, this presents a conundrum for us.
See? Oh, DM, I mean, is, no, okay. I'm afraid, as much as I would like to help the heroes, I'm afraid that in this I can be of no service at this time.
Very well, we appreciate your assistance nonetheless.
But of course, if you come back, we will be around here for a while, and I'm sure we will meet again at some point. We always turn up when you need us. We're always nearby. Perhaps, maybe then, I may ask around, perhaps I can have some additional information for you for what you need.
All right, we appreciate it.
Of course, of course. Of course. Anything else that I can help you with at this time?
I think it's possibly best that we're on our way.
Well, before you go, again, to show our gratitude on behalf of myself and my entire caravan, I would like to present you with one last item. It is an ancient, and he pulls out like a clay jar from his jacket, and he opens it up and it's a cream. Oh, this is a very ancient recipe. Perhaps useful for, yes, not for eating. Although perhaps I've never tasted it, so I couldn't say. But it helps with disguising. Perhaps, even though everyone is welcome at Gildan's, not everyone is welcome everywhere else, if you know what I mean. So perhaps, maybe not the soap, but this might be of some use to you.
Does it work on beasts?
It works on anything, although I do not know if you would want to apply this to a beast because it might have some strange side effects. It makes whatever face you apply it to look human. So
Horrifying.
you have to yes.
Well, that was one direction I never expected that to go.
So you must be, picky about who you use this on. Your friend here, he could pull it off. Your dog over there, probably not.
I think we're good. But it does sound like a useful item. We just are simply short on coins.
Oh, this is a gift.
Oh.
For the heroes, yes. One word of warning. Do not get it wet. Under no circumstances do you want to get this wet, because the results will not be good. I will just say that.
Will he look like a beast?
Something akin to that, yes. All I will say is, do not wear it out in the rain. Do not splash water onto your face. Do not sweat profusely while you are wearing this. Just stay very calm and collected.
I see nothing that can go wrong with this.
I am going to give this to you, my shiny friend, to hold.
Thank you.
It seems that the two of you have formed a bit of a bond, if I'm not mistaken. He seems very attached to you. But yes, use it wisely. It is, again, from all of us here to celebrate the heroes that rescued the children, that rescued the town of Newtown. And perhaps this will be a reminder of the type of fare that you can find at Gildan's. Tell your friends. Maybe ones that have a little more coin than you.
I wish I had a few of those.
But
I'm sure
saying that maybe it'll be us soon enough.
Yes, I'm sure that you will end up on top. That you will prevail.
If we could get inside the door that we're trying to get into, we might find lots of coin down there.
I wish you all the luck.
Or horrible monsters, or both.
Most likely both.
Yeah.
The
We'll make
creepy
sure that
hidden door? You think there might
repay
be
the
monsters
faith you've
behind
given
it?
in us.
Absolutely. And to be honest, again, my friend, I know that when you saw the sword, you might think that it was given to me it is an ill-gotten gain, but I can assure you, I run an honest business. I've been around for a while. You can ask anyone. Everyone knows me. Gildan is fair. And all of the items
I trust you.
are legitimate.
I rolled a 2, so.
You can see absolutely nothing in him that seems to be deceitful.
I apologize for the snap in the quick judgment.
Do not worry, my friend.
Can I roll an insight?
Absolutely.
You can certainly try.
Yes, that is a 10.
You can read nothing off of him that seems deceitful.
Yeah.
You have no doubt that he's a businessman and looking to make some profit, but nothing in his nature seems to be deceitful, from what you can tell.
Yeah, gives you like a smile.
I like this guy. I like this guy.
All right, I'll help with the caravan. You all go.
As we get like maybe 30 feet away from Gildan's. I'm sorry, I had one last question. Move on. I'll catch up in 1 second. I wanted to go back and speak with Gildan.
I also have a question for Gildan, but
Seems fine to me, and I just keep walking off.
Off to the rest of the caravan, you all kind of wander about. I take it, so Damon, you and Vaughn are walking up. Oh, actually, you just remain in place, Damon, I'm assuming.
yeah, I'll wait.
I could get far enough away to see that you're still there. I would not come back if you were still there.
Got ourselves a
I
standoff.
walked with, and then you went back, so I'll wait.
Okay.
I'll just kind of just stand there, pondering myself.
See, like, this would be an excellent opportunity for one of those like sneaking lessons I was like talking about earlier.
I'm not helping you sneak.
All right, Vaughn, ask your question.
I can help.
Good. Apologies for coming back for more questions. Kind of looks back over his shoulder, see what the rest of the crew is doing. The bow tie.
Yes. A very lovely piece.
It is a very lovely piece, and one that my friend is quite fond of. I don't have any coin to pay you for this now. I have a favor to ask.
listening.
You hold it on reserve. I pay back more than it's worth when we return.
He kind of looks at you and is just very serious, and his eyes just kind of glimmer. And then it turns into his mouth turns into a smile. Yes, do not worry, my friend. I have a feeling that we will meet again, and I will keep your friend's accessory safe, quite safe. I can see that he had a very difficult time letting it go, but he is a businessman, so I think he understood why the pain was necessary.
He seems to be more complex than he lets on.
Oh, I'm sure he is. I could see there is more behind him that is on the surface, that is presented to everyone else.
Most of us are the same.
Yes, yes.
I appreciate your understanding.
Of course, of course, of course.
I must catch up. Again, thank you for the gift as well.
For the heroes of Newtown, I do what I can. And remember, Gildan's caravan is never far away.
And with that, Vaughn jogs off to go join the rest of the party. But that is going to bring us to a close this evening.
Oh no! My question!
We're going to have to wait and see what happens with that. So please do join us again next
Trying to
week,
do a nice thing.
7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the Guardtower's Twitch channel. And again, the adventure is just beginning. So we will see you again. And thank you very much for joining us tonight.